Hello, good morning. This is January 11th, 2025. This is our first Zoom meeting of the year 2025. And I want to welcome Gina. Gina, welcome. Thanks for coming on. We're waiting on Mike. I don't know if Mike did not. Oh, I hope he did not oversleep. Gina, where are you from in the Philippines?
From Zamboanga Peninsula.
Oh, Zamboanga. Okay. Bisaya na diha do, Tagalog.
Bisaya.
Ah, taga Cebu man ko. I'm from Cebu.
Ah,
Yeah.
good evening
Where
pala.
did you hear from us, or have you been here before? I'm trying to recall.
Um, my former student is already in the US. Siya
Okay,
ang naghatag nako og link.
give you the link. Okay. Well, who is your former student's name?
It was Gemaline Mahinay.
Ah, Jamalyn. Okay.
Aaron.
Well, do you have
Yeah,
a camera you can turn on, or do you want to not show your face tonight?
I can.
Yeah.
Hi.
There you are. Hi, Cecil Ann. Oh, Cecil and Giselle. I'm blind here, Giselle. Let me see. Giselle, welcome. Well, it's nice to talk to you. In a minute when everybody comes on, I'll call on you again, Gina, okay? So, Giselle, thanks for coming on. Do you know if did Mike say anything about making it today? Do you know?
Um, no, Doc, but he posted it on ITSA, so I guess he'll be coming today, Doc.
Okay.
It's
Well, I don't know with all the time changes in the US time. I don't know if it was gonna be this time or an hour later, but anyway, so we do fall back and spring forward. So it's been fall, so we had to turn our clock back. And then in the spring, we're gonna do spring forward 1 hour. So I don't know. I just come on at 7 o'clock our time here in Arkansas, and then should be 8 o'clock there in the Philippines. Is that right? Is it 8 there? Or
it's almost 9 o'clock, Doc.
oh,
It's
so you
almost
are 2 hours.
7
Okay.
minutes before now. Yes,
So
Doc.
I should have come on at 6. That's too early.
Oh, that's too early, Doc. It's okay. I guess
Yeah,
it's okay.
too early, especially on a Saturday, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
Doc.
So
But
let
I'm
me.
so jealous with Girly and Leslie. They are
I
already
know they're together, aren't they? Yeah. Yeah,
yes,
they
Doc.
actually came here, Leslie and them. Girlie was not able to make it here, but and then Abby also, they came separately, but yeah, they were able to come to my house, so which it made me happy. So
Yes, Doc.
so one of these days, maybe you will. You will too.
Praying for that, Doc.
Yeah,
Uh,
hopefully. Um,
I'm already sending my resumes to some, but I don't have feedbacks yet.
Not yet. Yeah, people are gonna start looking at it when they get back from the vacation. So it's gonna be, I figured if they just now got back, so they'll need a few days to get caught up, and then they will start interviewing February, March. So they will actively interview then, February and March. So everybody needs to be more active and going to www.schoolspring.com. Have you been active there and checking it every day, Giselle?
Yes, Doc.
Yeah.
And I think just last Thursday I had my applications with. I think I tried at Kansas, and I think it's in Colorado.
Oh,
The
okay.
the one
And Giselle, do you want to turn on your camera or you cannot? It just
I'm going to turn
huh?
it in a bit, Doc. I'm
Okay.
wearing sleeveless. I'm going to change in a
Okay.
bit.
Well,
I'm
the
going to change.
recording, it just looked funny without a picture.
Yes, Doc.
So that's why.
Okay, I'll be back.
Yeah.
I'll just wear something
Okay.
nice.
Yeah. So anyway, back to you, Gina. Tell me something about yourself.
Yes, Doc. I am a secondary teacher.
I'm gonna turn on your camera, Gina.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Thank thank you.
Yeah.
Um, I am a secondary teacher, major in mathematics, and It was a short time only. I have five years teaching in the classroom.
Okay.
At the same time, I was designated as the school head of a newly opened school
So you became
where
principal? You became principal?
uh, not yet a full-fledged that time because I was paid as a classroom teacher in the Philippines and
Mm.
working as a school head in a
Oh,
particular school.
okay.
And after that, for a long time, siguro mga 17 years, I was able to to get that item for the principal one.
Okay. The same school?
Knowing with no.
You moved.
3 years in a private school, in a Catholic school in
Okay.
Zamboanga Peninsula, particularly in Zamboanga, Sibugay. Tapos, after that, I resigned and applied in the government school. So, fortunately, after 1 year, I was given an item in a public school 1 year ago opened. So, it's really a very poor school. So, I was the young one teacher.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
I was um forced to be designated as will act as a school head in
Well,
that school.
you have your leadership skills, obviously. You know, they see you as a
Um,
leader, which is good.
maybe because it was not my dream to be a school head. I just want to be a simple classroom teacher. And Gemaline was one of my students in the Xavier High School.
Okay. Well, that's
So
good that you see your former students coming here and you want to come too, because in America, they don't really discriminate based on your age, you know. I used,
yeah, I am very inspired with her, and I asked her na, you can help me that I will be there.
yeah. How
So
many years of experience do you have total?
for that year, 5 years, oh, five
That's all.
years.
All
But the
total.
rest of my years,
Okay.
but the rest of that, I am working as a principal and now currently an education program supervisor in mathematics in our division office.
I think you have to be, in order to come here on a teacher exchange on a J1 and in a J1 visa, you're going to have to be a classroom teacher full time.
A full
So
time.
yes, you have to be full-time classroom teacher. There was a principal, um, remember Dr. Alvin, was it Giselle? What,
Yes, Doc, it's Dr.
I guess
Alvin.
maybe as long as you have at least 3 years of experience as a teacher, maybe that would work. But I
That
would,
5 years experience, Doc,
yeah,
a
that should
full-fledged
work.
classroom teacher.
I will, if I were you on your interview, you would need to focus on your classroom experiences instead of your
Okay.
leadership experiences,
Okay.
because
Okay.
yeah, because unless you are applying for, you know, for a leader, for a teacher, for a school
Yeah.
principal, that's what I would focus on, because their questions will relate to your teaching experiences more than the leadership position,
Okay.
don't you think?
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So you know, did you
Thank
get
you
that?
for
Do
that.
you have a pen and paper? You might want to write www.schoolspring.com.
Yeah,
And
I noted already
you
when
got that
you
already?
talk
Okay.
with Giselle.
Yeah. So send your
At
resume, cover letter.
schoolspring.com.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they change that website changes every day. So you may want to check it every day or every other day, whatever you know, the
Okay.
schedule allows, because that's that would help you out if you can do that. So I
Mm.
guess we started 2 minutes early, so we don't have very many people yet. But anyway, do you have, so what do you why do you want to come to the US to teach? That's going to be one of the questions for you.
I'm taking notes.
Okay.
What are the possible questions? Why do you?
If you go to my YouTube videos, have you are you subscribe to my YouTube channel? Look me up under my name, Merlina McCullough, or Dr. Merlina McCullough, and then International Teacher Support of America, and that is ITSA, ITSA. So if you just Google ITSA and Dr. Merlina McCullough, you will find my YouTube channel, and I have a lot of videos. There are former videos. This is our 88th video. So the videos that we had, I even had 2 videos that just about interview, like practice interview with a teacher. And I
Okay.
gave my comments. So you may want to go look for Josephine videos when you find mine. I have more than 500 videos in there, but the most important ones will be the one that's called Zoom number with a Zoom number, and then the one that says Josephine video. So that should help you. What do you think, Giselle? Do you think that would help her out? Giselle, is she there? Hey,
Yes,
Giselle,
Doc.
do you
I was
think?
chatting everyone in the GC. Yes,
Yeah,
Doc. That's very helpful. All the Josephine, I have watched the Josephine video, and sometimes I would rewatch our videos also. That's very
yeah,
informative.
yeah.
Yeah, you
I
can
think
learn.
so.
Everything is there.
Yeah, because the first question is gonna be, tell me something about yourself. Some of them would say, tell us about your journey, about your professional journey. You know, why did you become a teacher and so on. They might ask you that, but a lot of time they just want to ask you about your professional information. Do not tell them about you know, if you're married or even your age. Don't tell them, you know, how many
Mm.
kids you have, any of that. You do not need to do personal, just professional. Where you graduated, or you know, you graduated with what degree and how many years of experience, what are the grades you have taught. Things like that are more important. And another important thing is your philosophy, your teaching philosophy. What do you believe about teaching? What is your teaching philosophy? Putting you a spot, Giselle first, and then that way Giselle. Giselle, what is your teaching philosophy?
Um, I think it's always this is what I always say. I never wanted to be the best teacher in the world, but I always wanted to be the best teacher my students have, Doc. You
Okay,
know,
well, give
giving
more
them.
details about that. Like, do you believe in teaching real life, you know, application? Do you believe in technology? Do you believe in hands-on learning? Any of those things that you believe is important, I would include that.
Yes, Doc. Teaching them lifelong skills, Doc. Yes, technology is always, as of this moment, I think technology is very high, no? So it is
Mm-hmm.
in demand in our society, Doc. So it's very much useful to teaching technology, though I am teaching in a mountain school where we have limited resources and gadgets. But then we are trying to give new learnings on our students. Just this year, we are given smart televisions, Doc. So we are now showing our kids videos, and usually I will do PowerPoints. And by the way, Doc, I'm using Gamma that up in my classes. Like I would do um I would ask Gamma to make me a PowerPoint presentations about the topics I have
Oh,
in my
Gamma that
classes. And
app. Yeah,
yes, Doc, and it's very useful, Doc. It's
very
very,
useful.
the graphics, Doc. It's very nice,
Mm-hmm.
and it's the colors, and it's very helpful, Doc. I
Yeah.
am really using AI as of this
Have
as
you
of
not
this
have you
moment.
noticed my post though? I use a lot of it, but have you noticed I
Yes,
changed the
Doc.
picture? I changed the picture with my photo lab pictures. Have you noticed that?
Uh,
I didn't want
yes,
it to
Doc.
be just all AI, you know, I wanted to have some kind of contribution. Anyway, thank you so much. So now I want to give you that example, Gina. So thank you, Giselle. What is your example of your teaching philosophy, Gina?
Uh, for me, Doc, teaching is a lifelong learning.
Mm-hmm.
It's always teaching every day. A student learns about it, and it counts most on the type of teacher in the classroom. So the teacher is the one who will make the classroom very enjoyable, especially in mathematics that should be full of fun. So nowadays, teaching mathematics is more on fun games,
So you
the
instead of
kids
saying fun, you may want to say engaging. So I believe
engaging.
teaching mathematics in an engaging way, you know,
Yeah,
where students are solving problems, real life problems and applications to real life, like, you know,
real
consumer
life
or whatever.
situation.
Yeah, that's what I would say. And I would really personalize it if I were you. Need Gina, I would really say I
Okay.
believe in the importance of this. Okay, tell
And
them that I believe that it's very important for teachers to be role models, or I believe that students learn at different pace. They all learn different ways, and they will end up learning, but it might be at different rates. So things like that. Those are things that you want to make sure you personalize because it is your teaching philosophy. Okay. Just a
Thank you
little
so
hint.
much. Thank you
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah. Anyway, so do you have any, so if you are asked, why did you want to come to the US? What would be your answer?
Uh, the first thing is that I'd like to experience teaching in another culture also, because in my 29 years teaching in the Philippines, I used to be the Filipino way of teaching learners. I want also to experience handling students that are not
Tatawin
Filipino,
lagi dito.
so that I would be able to sharpen also my skills in handling learners that are not in the same race also. It's a great challenge and I would like to experience that also.
Okay. Um, you might not want to put 29 years because they can do their math and like, okay, must be this age. So you can just say 20 plus years.
Ah, okay.
You can say that. And then yeah, don't be specific on it because people can do their math then. You don't want to reveal your age because sometimes people have age bias. You don't want to
ah,
give them that tool, right? And then also you might want to say things about that you're also gonna gain from the students or from the colleagues. It's a cultural exchange. So
yeah,
while we are teaching our culture to the American kids, you are also learning as a Filipino teacher about their culture. So it's an exchange. So if you kind of
yeah,
do it that way, it's like a tennis, like this is what I'm gonna give and this is what I'm gonna receive. So it's like that because and that way it sounds like a very thoughtful answer. But that way your answer was not bad at all. You're gonna do well on interviews. Yeah, just be, it looks like you are very natural. You're not nervous. So you're just visiting with me. You know how you can tell that the interview is doing well is when you're looking like you're just visiting with that person. You're just talking to them like this. It's not like, it's not like formal. It's really just like visiting with you. And that's how you know you're doing well.
okay.
Okay?
Thank you so much, Doc Merlin.
Yeah.
I learned
Yeah.
also.
I think, yeah,
I
I
learned
think,
from
yeah.
you.
Well, you have been in the other side. You have interviewed teachers as a principal, so you know how that is. You can kind of tell which teacher, like, okay, this teacher will be a good fit because you already picturing that teacher in which classroom, right? And like, that person is not, that person is, the same with them. I have been administrator here. So I have done a lot of interviews. So yeah, you have the vision of like, is this are you in the right seat in the bus? They want to put the right person in the right seat in the bus of their school,
Yeah.
so yeah, the right position. Yeah. All right. Well, good luck. And, be proactive. If you send me your resume and cover letter, McCullough Merlina at Gmail, and then I will include your name. I'm updating it. I have more than 300 there on my list, but I'm resending it to beginning of the year. I'm resending it again to the superintendents, not just in Arkansas, but in the surrounding states as well. But you also
By the
need to
way,
be
Doc,
proactive by doing
by the
yourself.
way, yeah.
Mhm.
By the way, Doc, you have the template for the resume
Now you
or
can have your own template. What you can do is you could Google it and you can just put resume sample example, and there's all kinds of that, or template. You can just say resume template. Put the word free with it, so that way they won't try to charge you. I would always
mm,
put the word free, yeah, free resume template. And then you can kind of get an idea because because then you'll see, or you can use Chat GPT. Chat GPT, you can just write a resume, and the name is this and what you want to include there, and so
ah,
anyway, and it will just write it for you.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
at least a cover letter anyway. And I think the resume, you really have to put the information in a certain kind of template, and then you need to put your picture on top right, top left, I don't care, but in the very bottom of it, you need to have three references. So you need to have at least two supervisor or administrator, and then maybe one colleague. And of course, you need to make sure that you have their email and their phone number,
Yeah,
because and then remind them that if you might want to check, they need to be checking their emails, because if they want to interview you, they have to check they will email them first. And then if they didn't get any response from your references, you won't be interviewed. So make sure that you put people
Yeah.
in there that one that will give you good recommendation, and two, they will answer their emails. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
yeah. All right. Well, do you have a question for me before I move on?
Nothing.
No question. Okay. Well, it's nice to meet you
Later,
again.
later.
All right. Well, okay. Formally, we're starting. I was visiting with Giselle and Gina. This is January 11th, 2025, and Mike finally came, so I made him our host. And so that I'm excited because now they are very actively looking for teachers in the US now for the next school year. So this is planning ahead. Make sure you are actively applying. Do not just wait for me to send you to somebody. You need to also be proactive on that, okay? If I can get Mike or Giselle to find that multiple job postings, I think that the title has job postings on it. If you can put it in our chat, I think that would be good for everyone, especially the new ones, to get that. It has it's an Excel file or Google file that has all the 50 states, and then the major schools in that 50 states. All you have to do is click on that, and then you can see if they have any openings. So that would help you decide on which school, which state you may want to apply in. And then those are the major schools or the top schools in their state, usually in size. But anyway, so welcome, Mike. Tell me about you, Mike. What's going on? Did you get a speaker for us?
Hello po. Good morning, Doc. Good evening in the
Morning.
Philippines.
On a snowy morning, you mean? Very snowy
Yes,
outside.
Doc. Yes, Doc. So
Yeah.
I think the snow is starting to melt now.
Yeah, it's still go. Oh, I know it stopped finally, but it's everywhere you see is like white, right?
Yes po,
Yeah.
Doc. Even here in our place
I bet
here.
your kids love it, huh? Are your
Yes
kids
po.
loving
And
it?
then yes, this is their second time
Oh yeah.
to
Did they make
experience this
snowman?
type
I
of
mean, we
snow.
have enough snow to make snowman this year, right?
Yes po. I
Yeah.
think it's thicker than last year.
Yeah, my kids used to do igloo. They're making igloos, like they'd get this pan,
Mhm.
the pan from the kitchen, and they would make that as like to mold the snow and pack it, and then they
Mhm.
make this little igloo thing in our yard. So yeah, that's that. I think this is a packing one that might be good for
Yes po.
igloo.
Mhm. Thicker one
Sometimes
but
it's not,
faster
huh?
one. Thicker
What?
one but faster one.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
our custom here is every time we go outside and doing that, do our snow angel, we come in with hot chocolate. We come inside and then
Mhm.
get a hot chocolate
Yes,
because it's
yesterday Mabel made a champurrado.
oh, that's so
Yeah.
cool. Yeah. Something hot. I think the kids, yeah. I think our own kids, now 34 and 25, they still remember the time when Mom, you remember the time when we were always like sledding or something, and we come in and we have hot chocolate with marshmallows and all that. So it's a good tradition. Your kids will remember that now that your two girls are now
Yes po.
big.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Mike, this
Mm-hmm.
is your fourth year or third year in America? Third year.
Turning I think third year po. I
Third year.
arrived here 2023, so 24. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Second
Mike
year.
is lucky. He's one of the H-1B visa holders. So
Oh,
that means that within 6 years, he need to see if he could get his green card application in and
oh,
approve. And then now they're going to be here. Your green card will be about 10 years. And then within that 10 years, if you apply, after you have been here 5 years, you can apply for citizenship. Then once you become a citizen, you're just like me. You can stay for as long as you want. And one thing that you need to know is that once you get your citizenship of the U.S. citizenship, you have to give up your Philippine citizenship. So then you will be sworn in as an American citizen. But if you really want that back to be dual, you can go. Like here in Arkansas, the closest Philippine embassy is Houston. So you can go to Houston and you can bring your paperwork and you can claim that back. You can be a dual citizen. And the advantage of that is you can still own properties in the Philippines. And if you go to Philippines, there's no limit how long you will stay there because you are also a citizen there. So because American citizens, we have a limit of, I don't know, what is it, Mike? A month, 3 weeks? I don't remember. We have to go get another visa because they have a limit, at least in the past. I know we had to not go past 21 days because they will want my husband to get another paperwork stamped or whatever. I don't know now if they've changed that, but it's just a pain. So, but anyway, what are you in your paperwork, Mike? Have you already applied for what? Adjustment of status?
Not yet po, Doc.
Oh,
Because I think I remember we're going to talk to the superintendent about their plans, if
okay.
what they're going to do to
Mhm.
renew it, to renew my H1B first, or to apply it.
Did you Google and see what would be best? I think I was thinking for money, for efficiency on the money part, you may just go ahead and do the adjustment of status because then you don't have to
Yes.
pay it again, right?
Yes po, yes po.
Yeah. So, bottom line for superintendents, for administrators, is that how much money it would cost. And if you actually go down and write down the requirements on both, you then show it to her, show it to your superintendent. Which one? This is how much it is for this particular visa, and this is what it is for this one. And so, what do you think? And they're gonna see that you need to also explain that, once we've done the adjustment status, then we still have to do the other one. So, or
Yes
you
po.
can just go straight to the other one. So it's like doubling the fee. So anyway, yeah, and I can help you, Mike, since I have a
Yes po.
contract with your school, and I see your superintendent all the time. So I just let me know what I need to follow up. And usually Brenda's so good at listening. So and your principal, Miss Moore, were you able to ask her to be our speaker or no?
I sent her a message po last night, I think.
But she didn't
The
answer
night
yet.
that I sent you a message and she did
Mm.
not reply po.
She did not. Yeah, she's a really busy lady, so I won't blame, one of these days we'll catch her. But
Yes po,
we have
yes
quite
po.
a bit of people here right now. We have Marlon. Thank you so much for coming on. Marlon, where are you on your application? I know this Giselle, Marlon, and my cousin Brian, they have they're the three that are elementary applicants, and it's harder for elementary applicants to come in than the secondary. So Marlon, do you mind turning on your camera?
Yeah, wait, no.
Yeah, there you are.
Video.
Yeah,
Wait, have you? Oh
there
my
you
God.
are. We can only see part of your head though.
Oh,
There you go. There you go. Marlon is her daughter Maria is one of my
hi, good morning, Doc. Good evening
morning.
here.
Good
A
morning.
long time
Yeah,
no
good evening
see.
there.
Yeah, I'm going back to application now for
Okay.
Alaska. Yeah, I'm signing the apply track only. Then Maria Phyllis told me to apply more and more and more.
Yeah,
Then I think I need to have an agency. I guess that's
you think?
because yeah, because I am a social studies teacher. I'm just following the FCE. So I
Mhm.
think I need to follow the track of my result of my FCE, which is I social studies teacher. So
Yeah, but
on
if you get an agency, they're not gonna do any more than what you can do, unless you get one
uh,
of those agency that is a visa designated sponsor. So you're just they're just gonna read the instruction like you can. So
okay,
they will not be able to make it faster because they're an agency. They're just gonna help you and then get money from you, at least $3,000. So so if you want somebody to read it for you for $3,000 or $4,000, feel free to do it. But I
okay,
think if I were you, I would go straight to that list of designated visa sponsors. They are the ones that have permission to be able to be sponsors. The other ones, if they're not on that list, they're going to be third-party agencies, and there's very few that are third-party agencies that would actually not charge you as much. So I'd be careful anyway. So
yeah,
you have that link about the if you can Google visa, what's a designated visa sponsor US, and you see that word bridge in the result, then you just go look at that list. You make sure that you change the role into teacher because there's so many different. They're from au pair, nurses, professors, all that. So you need to go to teachers, and then you can do that. Yeah. So you're getting frustrated, huh? You want to come here now?
yeah.
I know.
I'm not getting any younger anymore.
Yeah, well, it
Maria
will
Phyllis
happen.
wanted to Yeah, we're talking here. We're
Yeah.
chatting my daughter, yeah, regarding
Is
about
she not,
that.
is she not joining us, Maria? Maria's not
I will
joining.
tell her, Doc. I will
Yeah.
tell her.
Sounds good then. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming on, and let's see who else is here. Is that Myrna? Myrna is here. I guess I'll be talking to the West Memphis 13. Myrna, Myrna, how is it going? I've been wanting to go see your house in person one of these days. Yeah.
Yes, Doc. Yes. Actually, I asked Mike as to when we can also visit you there because we didn't get the chance to visit your place during the day. So
Yeah.
maybe because we're planning with Erwin, the best with Sir Bene. So we're planning to visit
That
you
would
there.
be
But
fun.
I think most probably you will visit us here first before we visit you there.
Okay, well, just remember that this month, my husband's birthday is on the 3rd. Well, not this weekend, but next weekend. We'll have all my kids home, so I can have
Oh,
company then. But other than that, that should be it. So you just have to let me know because I think spring break we may be going either on a cruise or going to see my daughter in Hawaii. So spring break's out too.
okay.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah, just let me know. But how's
Yes, yes.
everything going with you? Are your son enjoying the snow?
Yes, he actually just yesterday he played outside with his dad. I was the
Yeah.
one taking videos.
Was he cold? Was he very cold? Was he very
Not that
cold?
not that much, not that much. It's just fine with him. The weather is just fine with him. What excites him is making the snowballs, and he took us a lamp of snowball and placed it in the fridge.
Yeah, we actually used to make a homemade ice creams. We
Mhm.
actually would do that, because we have this ice cream maker, and when Dwayne would go outside, just make sure when you get the snow outside, make sure that they're the white one, not the yellow one where the dog peed.
Yes, yes, yes. That's what I mean.
You get one, and then you can put flavor like mango or whatever, and then make ice cream.
Mhm.
So it's
Yes.
fun. But
That's true.
anyway, so we have some new folks over here attending. Give me a couple of tips that you could tell them, Myrna, that might help them with their journey.
Yeah, okay. When I was interviewed last time, just to share an experience. So when I was interviewed this last time, and it is a common question, how do you handle unmotivated students? So during that time, I was thinking, okay, maybe there will just only be 2 or 3 or 4 unmotivated students. So it was just easy to say that. But when you face the reality, you would really have to adjust. You would really have to adjust. And I was thinking at first, I said, my God, I wouldn't be a teacher for this number of years for nothing. And then again and again and again, you really have to know your students, where the students are coming from. At first, I thought that they do not respect me. I said, could you please give me a bit of respect? And they said, Miss Mirna, when we are noisy and when we answer back, it doesn't mean that we do not respect you. We respect you. We love you. And really, I was so touched because last time when I was not feeling well that time, turning red, and the students saw me, Miss Mirna, you're not feeling well. Sit down, please. Sit down, chill, calm, sit down.
Yes, she's a high
Yes,
school science teacher, so you have kids that are like adults now. Yeah.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. And eventually, I was able to, how do you say it? I gained their attention, but not really 100%. But slowly, I'm getting into it, working with my coach, with my academic coach. You really have to be open and what you think is going on, and make sure that when you really plan, you think of, okay, in my cluster is this kind of student, in my cluster is this kind of student. So even if you're targeting only one objective, make sure that you do have differentiated activities for this
Yep.
for these students.
Yep. Because
Simplifying at
Mhm.
times, I am having short temper, would say, Miss Mirna, could you please explain this? And I already have explained it many times. And then I realized, okay, I would have to explain it again. I would have to explain it again. And then realize that coming to the USA is not just more than a profession, it is a mission as well.
Yep. Good. Very good. Very well put. Very, very. That's why she's Dr. Myrna. Dr. Timpson. But anyway, so yeah, very good. I think I really like that you described the cultural shock That's cultural shock is what you experience, because in our culture, we're so, as teachers, we are so used to having the kids be quiet and listen to me, right? Like
Yeah.
that, very obedient, very, like compliant. But not in America. We have raised our kids in America to like speak up and to be
Yes.
critical thinkers and to actually reason out. They are not just going to be quiet. They're going to actually have, sometimes it sounds like an argument, but really is not. They want you to listen to their thoughts. Don't you think?
Yes. And
That
then
it's, and
yeah,
we
the
and it
other
takes, yeah.
yes, yes. And
Mm-hmm.
then the other day, I was just surprised because I was discussing thermal energy. It's timely that the weather is cold. And then a student said, Miss Mirna, could you please teach us how to read a temperature in Celsius because we got used to Fahrenheit.
Mm.
So I started discussing this is how we convert. And then after the very long discussion of the conversion, do you regret asking me? And they said, no, miss, not at all. Not at all, because we're able to learn how to say it in Celsius. And one more thing, yeah, back in the Philippines or in other, we used to have, you're the teacher, you discuss, and these are the students listening.
Yeah.
I know that this time it won't work. It won't work. Let's do more of, give more activities, less talking,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
a slight input, but of course, a good quality input, a small good quality input, and then
Mm-hmm.
the students will do it. The
Yep.
students, they are so excited to perform the experiment. When they discover things, they got amazed. And then the other day, I had this, the effect of thermal energy, and I told them, okay, pour a hot water into the balloon. Miss Mirna, it might pop. I said, try it first,
Mm-hmm.
but Miss Mirna, it will pop. Try it first. Try it first. I will not put you at risk. I told them.
Yeah, well, very nice. Well, I
They
can
said, how
tell
did
that you have really adjusted.
yeah.
So
And then they
that's
will
good.
say, how did you know, Miss Mirna, it will not pop? And then he said, hey, Miss Mirna has been teaching for the longest time. He already know. And before she asked us to do it, she would do it first.
Yeah, exactly. And you can, your hands-on differentiated instructions, well planned, teachable moments that you are taking advantage of the teachable moments. As an observer, like an administrator or a coach, I always look for teachers. I always watch and observe if teachers are actually getting questions from students. To me, if the students are asking you questions, I grade you really high because the students are feeling comfortable with you, that to be able to ask. And I also watch how you answer it. If you're
Yeah.
answering it like, oh yeah, thank you for asking that question. I'm so glad you asked that
Yeah.
question because now we can get farther to this, or we can expand this lesson or whatever, instead of like, shut up. Yes. You don't do that ever, right?
Yeah.
Ever. So anyway, so you encourage them to be critical thinkers, to ask and be engaged. That means that they're thinking while you're doing something, right? So because if they don't, they're just possibly doing that, being bored. You are pretty much wasting your time. You may as well have gone home, right? So it sounds like your science classes are fun and engaging.
Not
So
all the time. Not all the
I
time.
know
There's up and down, but
yeah.
if it is really hands-on activities, expect students really to put their heart into it. Their
Mm-hmm.
inquisitive mind is in
Yeah.
there.
Well, in Arkansas, the requirement for experiment and hands-on is at least once a week. So if you
I
get
did
that at least
twice.
once a week, you do it twice a week twice a week, that's cool. And for other classes, math or English or whatever, same way, make it hands-on. For English, for example, you have them do presentations where you show them, but then you need to, give the work back to students. I always say that at the end of the day, the student should be the one very tired, but you should not be very tired. If you're the one that's being tired and the kids are not, that means you've been doing the work for them. You've been spoon feeding them, or you've just been talking to death and they're not learning. So be, kind of self-reflect at the end of the day. Am I tired? My kids tired. Because you put them to work, right? And I bet your science students were tired at the end of the day, right?
Yes,
Put them
yes.
to work. And
And
you're over there just
they would say,
relaxing.
Mirna, we've been good today. Do you have something for us? I told them, not all the time I can give you something.
That's right. You get broke. You get broke. I know
Yeah,
Maria.
yes.
Yeah, Maria is an example. She would buy these big bags and she would just give a bunch. And I said, Maria, be tight with it. Do not give them a bunch because you can't afford to do that.
Because my
It wasn't
language
Maria.
is
It was somebody else.
hi,
Maria,
I'm
it
here.
wasn't you. It was Betsy. Sorry.
Oh,
It was Betsy. She would do a whole bag, Maria. And I'm like, Betsy, you can't do that because you have several students. And if you're going to do that, they're going to be so used to that. I mean, I'm so stingy. I'd give that Copico candy. I'll give one, you know, I do not give a handful.
no,
So
you're more
what do you think?
generous than me, Ma'am Ellen. This is
Yeah.
Maria, by the way.
Huh?
You're more generous than me.
Really? You're tighter than me. I was thinking of Betsy. Betsy's the one that would go to the dollar store and get a whole big bag of stuff, and then she would just give one package to this kid. And I had to correct her. And I said, no, you can't, you're gonna be broke. You're gonna be spending too much money. And these kids are gonna not appreciate it as much because you're spoiling them. And I think that's something that you may have to go through at first. And then later on you decide, oh my goodness, you translate it into peso. I'm like, that's a lot of money. That's 200 pesos that I just gave, or whatever. But anyway, so what is your thank you, by the way, Myrna, for sharing. Maria, do you mind turning
You're
on your
welcome,
camera?
Doc. Thank
Can
you.
you? And then tell
Let me
us some
see.
tell us some tips, or add some more tips for them, please.
More tips.
Yeah.
Wait, what the tip? I just got in.
I think
What tips do you need?
hands-on learning, differentiated learning, knowing your students, things like that had been shared. So what are the things what's some aha moments that you found that shocked you or surprised you when you came to the US 3 years ago? Yeah.
There's a lot of
Because
things.
here's a 23-year-old girl.
Because this is already my fourth year. I'm already in my extension year.
Mhm.
So like I think there are just things that I can do now. I can like do better now compared when I was starting like 2021. Like there were things before that I was so afraid to do, but now like you can just like okay, you can actually do it. And then like they would all the admin would also start to entrust you with things like me, for example. I'm part of the leadership like in like ILT team. That's like a leadership team in the high school.
Mhm.
And
I'm proud of you, Maria, for being part of that.
thank you. And now I'm work on I'm also like the teacher coordinator support in the district. Like Dr. Paul entrusted me with that one. So
Mhm.
it really takes years like to be part of it. And I think that also shows because the other like I know the ELA team, meaning the English language arts team in our district, are trying our best like to increase scores, because that's to those who don't know, that's an essential thing in, I believe, in every state, that you have to do like state testing. And
Accountability.
so
Mhm.
yeah, and Dr. McCullough and Miss Lisa, they come to our classroom, try to help us um, in intervention, or in things like that can help us alleviate like problems that we have in our classroom. So first year it was very hard because it's very different when it comes to classroom management, but like you'll just get the hang of it. Like
Because these kids are
and
way bigger than you. I mean, they're like way tall. How tall are you, Maria? You're
I'm
four
just
what?
4'11", and
Or
I even
11. And these
lie
kids are
sometimes to
like,
my
some
height.
of them are 6-footers.
Yes, they're now. I have ninth grade. They're like 6 footer, but again, like I had them since seventh grade, so I kind of like know who they are, and like they just get comfortable also. But I also have to set boundaries a lot, because like since I'm young, I also no I'm young now. Even though I'm young, I'm kind of like in the friendly and strict
Yep.
um
Watch that line. Watch that.
line.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. But
Mhm.
there were times like I guess like it comes from the fact that I'm young, so I kind of like play with them too, and then I have to stop myself because I play too much.
I think you do a good
Yeah,
job of that though, because they want to hang around in her classroom. Like they would cut from another class and they would want to hang around in her classroom. So she had to drive them away. Like, hey, you're not
yeah,
belong here. You need to go to your class. But
uh-huh.
that's a compliment. But yet, that's you do a very good job of doing that, and also calling the parents. You have done a very good job about like immediately calling your parents. Used to you like you would not call as much. But right now you just like, okay, you want me to call your mother, your grandma, you
Yeah.
do that.
I know their parents' name. I know their parents. I would just like, do you want me to call blah blah blah?
Mhm.
Like, and then when they would just stop, because because they know I'm gonna call and I would stop. And we have
Yeah.
like a strict cell phone. We have a phone policy, and like I don't care if they say something bad to me, because I mean at the end of the day, like your purpose is not to be liked by. I mean, okay, it's nice to be liked by students, but you also have to be stern with the school policies. Like you
Mm-hmm.
have to follow them.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, like, okay, there are students that will like me or not, but I'm just doing my job. So
Mm-hmm.
like for phone policies, because there are schools that are very strict with that one. I think Brinkley is kind of like, in the
Hit
middle.
and miss sometimes,
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Hit and
depending on
miss.
the teacher, I think. So,
Yeah, and so like I would really call the principal, because there are things that I like, I can't control anymore. Like
mhm.
this the time that you call for admin support, and if you call them, they would really try their best to help you also, and especially with policies like this, because they know like they also wanted this kind of policy to be implemented.
Mhm.
So yes.
Yeah, they have this little basket. The Maria is very good about this. They have this little basket. The moment they come in the classroom, they have to drop their phone in the basket, right?
No, we don't have that
You
anymore. We
don't
have
have it
like a
anymore.
Yeah, last year that was that, but we have like pouch. It's
Oh,
called a yonder
pouches now.
pouch. Yeah, some schools use that because a lot of kids just bring their phones, and that's not just a Brinkley thing. Like that's also other school thing.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know.
yeah.
So
Most
we
of the
have that
state.
pouch, and then they keep the pouch with them, and then like it's locked, and then they can unlock it at the end of the day.
Mhm.
There are some students that would really test you, and then like you know, they would try their best to hide it and not put it in the pouch. So there's a time probably you can call the admin for that one.
Yeah.
But my whole point is that it takes years to build. For me, it takes years to build classroom management. Like it's not an overnight thing that you can just do.
For sure.
Especially us coming from the Philippines and not like really used with this kind of culture. Like it takes probably a year or so to
At
build
least.
rapport with your
Mhm.
students, to build a relationship with your students, but you'll get the hang of it though. But like as teachers, as I guess we're just good with like fake it till you make it, because
Mhm.
we can't show to them that,
Yeah.
I mean, you can show a little bit I would say you can show a little bit of vulnerability,
It breeds
but
trust. Yeah.
mhm, but most part you should be showing like what
You
do you want for your classroom to be
Mhm.
like.
Yeah. But I think you have a very good balance with that, because I remembered some of the teachers that came here and they were high school too, like you. And I know in another school that they were afraid to discipline these kids. One of the schools, shared with me that said, oh, last year there was a home that was shut up by the students because they were mad at these teachers, so they were afraid of this, discipline thing, because they're afraid that the student would turn violent on them.
Mm,
But that's not the case. I mean, you don't have to be afraid, because there's gonna be a SRO, which is a school resource officer, like a policeman in every school district anyway, right? So the bigger districts would have more than one, but a lot of time, however little they are, they're gonna have that SRO, that school resource officer, that you can always ask, and if somebody would be violent, they could take them to the sheriff's office, and all that. And so just don't be afraid, because if you look like you're afraid, they're gonna eat your lunch. That means they're gonna be like, okay, this is teacher is afraid, we're gonna try to abuse it, so they're gonna test their boundaries, and they're gonna keep pushing that boundary and see where they could get what they can get away with. And so
yeah.
I think the second year, then you got better, right, Maria? The third year, you even got even better. So I could see the progress. I wish I had a video of every visit, because that would have been nice to like really compare it, right? So, but anyway, but I think that, did you ever have a point where you wish that, oh, I shouldn't have done this? Like, did you have a regret? Did you have a point where you regretted coming because it was so bad, because the kids were not behaving themselves? Did you
I
ever
mean,
have that point?
there were just times that it's just tiring to teach these kids. Like at the end of the day, I'm just gonna be real about that one. Like you want the best for your kids, for the students. Like you want them to learn so bad, but I guess I also have to think that there are in a I am in a poverty level school, so like a Title 1 school, so basically like not all of my kids have like like the experiences that they actually need, so they kind of like it's
support from home. They don't
yeah, or
have
support
support.
from home, because like you would try to understand why are they behaving like this, like why are they so bad, like, I mean, let's be real, there are students in the classroom that are like it's really out of your control, and like you have to ask at the administration for help, because like and when I do that, like it made me look back, like is there probably going on, like going something on at home, or like is there something that we just didn't know about that we
Mhm.
should be aware of. So
Mhm.
like things like that, oh, I should have not done this, like I should have not like reprimanded him, like
So
I
you
felt bad now.
reflected, yeah, you reflected.
Yeah.
Then, and in that case, you should call the parents. Is there something going on at home? Is there something I can do to support
Mm-hmm.
your child? Because I know there's a difference in how this child behaves. So that's what I always did that. That was just something that was a default for me. When I
Yeah.
saw a difference, I would always call the parents. You know, yeah.
I've done that, but I mean, I think the reality also, Miss Ellen, is that I've called parents plenty of times, and I think they just don't know how to control their kids too, or like they just don't know how to discipline their kids too.
Mhm.
That's the sad reality, because like they would say like I will try to talk to him, I will, things like that, but like there's just no, like, I don't know, there's a lack of parenting, I would
Sometimes,
say.
yeah, sometimes because
Sometimes.
you cannot teach something you do not know yourself, right?
Yeah.
So you have to understand that, but they still need to know that you care. You care enough to
Mm-hmm.
call enough,
Yeah.
cared enough to reach out, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yes,
some of them may be
absolutely.
rude enough to say, "Well, that's your job as a teacher. Why are you calling me? This is your job."
Mm.
But hopefully, you didn't meet so many of that. Hopefully, but
Not
there you
really.
could meet something like that, and if they do, you just have to like be the person that's don't go to that level, higher than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't go to I've had that incident before. Don't go to that level.
Mhm,
Try to stay, because you know what your intention is.
mhm.
But like, there are just parents who believe that their kid is like an angel that would not do anything wrong.
Yeah.
But I think I remember what you said. Like, parents should not believe what their child says. Like, no, what what is it? Like, I think
And
you
I said,
mentioned that.
I used to joke that, parents, if you promise to believe only half of what your children would say to you, then I would do the same with what they said about you to
Yeah.
me. Yeah. So I used to joke like that. Of course, I can only say that for people that I know very well, but
No.
yeah, I would say that to strangers. But yeah, but I think that's a lot of learning that you have done, and that's a lot of, that's why I said I don't want her to like not continue to stay here. I want her to like continue to teach here because look at all this learning that you already have, and if we have to start over with another teacher, then that's a more, that you have another 1 or 2 or 3 years again to invest,
Mm-hmm. Yes,
and that's
ma'am.
why, yeah, that's why, administrators are really wanting to keep the Filipino teachers because they're actually doing
Their
very
job.
good in schools, right? They're doing, yeah, you're doing a very good job, and the kids love you, and so that's what it always makes me proud, like a proud mama over there when they were like, oh my, Miss how do you call that? Miss I? Do you call them Miss I?
Yeah, yeah. They call him
Yeah,
Miss I.
Miss I is my favorite teacher, or or Miss Duya. Somebody, Miss Q. These Filipino teachers that are there, they would tell me, the students would tell me that so and so, this teacher is really, really good, and I really like going to her class. She's the only class I really like, whatever. But what I also noticed is that kids, even though I had followed kids from this class and they were so well behaved because the teachers done a very good job of of controlling, but then you follow the same kids and go to another class and they're horrible because they
Yeah.
know what they can get away with in another class. So you have to
Mm-hmm.
be sure that you are that teacher that they will behave in, not the teacher that they will just like, we don't have to listen to her or whatever, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you, I have seen that often. That I'm like, what in the
Yeah.
world is this? Is this the same group of kids that were like angels and the other one? How come they've got horns now? Because they were angels from the other classroom. But then I realized, you know what? They are really thinking that this teacher is going to be okay. This teacher is not going to just going to keep saying stop, stop, but nothing happens. No
Happens.
consequence. No calling of parents, no checking or putting their names and checking or whatever. There's no consequence at all in, threatening them, and then nothing happens. I mean, they're going to just say, okay, let's just continue doing this every time. And so then the teacher is so miserable, and I know what I'm saying too is that you will have a point the first month anyway, at least the first month of arriving in the US and teaching, that you will be so frustrated. And I've heard more than once, oh, I wish I can go home. But right?
That is true.
Yeah, they want to go home because they felt like, oh my God, this is not what I signed up for, kind of type thing. It's like a shock. But because a lot of the situations here in the US is that you are placed. I mean, that's why schools are needing Filipino teachers, because they cannot get local teachers a lot of times to apply, because maybe a lot of the kids are misbehaving and they can't handle them. But Filipino teachers, we would actually adjust and be successful. And a lot of times we owe too much money. If we go home now, if we go home now, here's a lot of money I owe, and all that I cannot pay. But at the same time, though, you have to think about the things that you learn from here. Like Maria, you have to tell us about your New York trip. Like she is like a US traveler now. How many states have you done?
And probably more than 10. Mr. Mike has more, like 31, I think. But
He's about to catch up with me.
golly, Mike is a kudos.
Good traveler.
There's a lot. But anyway, like don't be shocked when teachers like post a lot of pictures on Facebook, because this, or like when or they travel photos on Facebook and social media, because that's the only like time that probably, like, I would say, they can breathe
Yeah.
from like from the classroom,
Recharge.
because yeah. And like we really try to cherish our breaks here. Like in the Philippines, like I don't really like get so much time to go on vacation or whatever, but over here, like I would say I've probably gone to a lot of places here compared to the Philippines, because like we would really try to go somewhere else, like during our breaks. And
Texas,
like
New York,
yeah,
different
going
big
to New
places.
York, going to DC, we just drove, and of course that was like a challenging thing to do, but we were able to surpass it without having car problems or road problems. And so like it also helps, like going to New York, oh, you're gonna be able to see like the world is really so big,
Yeah.
because yeah,
Six,
DC,
9 lanes. It's really big.
yeah,
Yeah.
different lanes. Like you hear people speaking different languages,
Yeah.
not just English or Filipino.
Everywhere.
Then
Yeah.
you would see a lot of people, and also you would also try to have different food, like going to different places. I think that's the advantage also of being in the States, especially if you have a car, because you can just like drive. Okay, if you want to go to this place, then you can just drive. Like
Yeah.
going to New York, going to DC, going to Rhode
You
Island, going
drive.
to Boston. We just went to a lot of places and try different food too, because we want to try food. We like eating food. So and for future plans, we plan to go somewhere with other Filipino teachers during the spring break. So
Yeah.
hopefully we
Spring break.
can make it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where are you planning to go?
Probably we were just talking, me, Dina and Jonah, we were just talking about going hiking out of state.
Yeah,
So
she
we'll
loves
see if we
hiking. Yeah.
can. Yeah, I love
My
hiking.
sister, my sister Bibi is wanting you all to come back. So you're always welcome to come back and see her in Dallas.
I will tell them about that one
Yeah,
then.
that'd be cool, right? Well, anyway, another thing that I want to praise Maria is driving. I mean, she learned how to drive in my yard, in my little mule, and then my car, and she took her test with my car, and now she's got her own, and all this. So that's something that you also have to go through, learning. I mean, I just thought I was gonna get killed with her when she was like stopping right in the middle of the road when there was this big, truck, and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna get killed. We're gonna get killed. And this guy was just hitting his horn so bad.
Yes, I remember that one too.
Yeah,
So
that
that's
was
the thing. Also, you have to be prepared when you want to come here. I mean, it depends, because I felt like it's easier to drive here compared to the Philippines, because I tried driving there one summer when I went home, and like I would rather drive here in the States.
I know my husband will not drive there either. And
Yeah,
I
I
will
would rather
drive there.
drive
I'd rather
here.
hire somebody. Yeah.
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 Yeah, but I would say like if you can drive in the Philippines, I I would say you can probably drive in Dallas, Texas, because that's also like, you know, a very
Very.
hard drive over
Yeah.
there. So you
Yeah.
can probably drive
Yeah.
or
I
in
was
New
so
York.
happy that, Junar and, Junar and, Leslie's, Abby's
Alvin,
husband. Huh?
Alvin.
Alvin. Janar and Alvin drove in Dallas, and I was so happy because I'm like, am I gonna be the one driving in Dallas, with this big old bus that we took with us? So that was good. But anyway, what I want Maria to share that and all that, because I want the Filipino teachers that are still in the Philippines to know the lives here. Things that shock you, things that surprise you, things that you need to learn. If you have an opportunity to get a driver's license already, that would really go a long way, because if you teach like in a rural area like Arkansas, we don't have taxis. We don't have public taxis. We don't have tricycle. We don't have jeepneys.
There's
So you
no
have to
bus
have your
to.
own, you're right, no buses even. But if you live in a big city, then of course all this, public vehicles are available. Or they have Uber, they have Lyft, but of course these things are expensive. So you
Yeah.
really need to have your own vehicle if you live in a rural area. Parang
And
probinsya.
especially too if you live like away from the school.
Yeah.
Like it's just an advantage for me because I just, well, like a 1 minute walk, 2 minute
Yeah,
walk
she
from
walks,
school.
she just across the road from the school, so she just walks to
Yeah.
school, which is good. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But like
Yeah.
if you don't like, if you don't live like how I live, like, away, like if you live like probably like 30 minutes away from the school, you really need to know how to drive.
Yeah.
Or like
35
or like
minutes.
There's a few there that would do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Maria, thanks
I
again
just
for
thought,
sharing. Mike, do you
yeah.
have anything to add, Mike?
Yes po, Doc. You mentioned about the international driver's license.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you need to take it or you need to get it before you come here in the USA, because it will take how many months? 1 to 2 months before you get the your driver's license. You need to take the written exam, and then after that, you need to wait for 1 month in the other states.
Mm-hmm.
But in some cases here, like my wife, she just waited for 1 week to take the practical test because she's already driving in the
Oh,
Philippines.
that's
That's
why.
the reason why she
It
knows
makes it easier.
how
The
how to
transition
drive
is
here.
easier. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes po.
And Mike
And
bought my Prius, so I hope that you're using it in your travels, Mike.
yes po, Doc. Yes,
Isn't that a
yes,
time
yes.
sa
My
isn't that
wife
gas
is
saver?
using it. Yeah.
It's so cheap. Yeah.
Yes.
I know. I miss it.
Yes.
So because of that.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. So
Yes
anyway,
po. And
so
then I want to take this opportunity, Doc, to welcome our newcomers here. I saw a
okay.
lot of new faces
Yeah,
here in
call them for
our
us.
Zoom meeting.
Hi, Maria.
Yes
Thanks
po.
again for sharing, girl. You did an awesome job. And Maria, Myrna, of course, and Giselle.
Yes.
Okay, so who
Mm.
who do you want to call, Mike?
Yes po. I already type in the content of the self introduction
Mm-hmm.
here. Okay po. And then those who want to introduce themselves, you can type your name on the chat box po,
Yeah,
so that we
put it
have
in chat box so
the
that way Mike can call you. This is good
yes
because
po.
you can practice kind of more of an interview practice for 2 minutes, because you tell about yourself and I will give you a comment. Like what should you
Yes.
include? You did a good job on here and so on. So Gina, did that help you when I give you a little comment to you? Gina? Is Gina still here? I don't know. But anyway, yeah. So
Yes.
who's brave enough to do it, Mike? Who's the first brave
Mhm.
person?
Yes po.
There's
Mhm.
a Friday. There's Jolie Ann. John. John Losares, new?
Yes, ma'am. Good
Ma'am
evening.
Joanne, welcome,
Okay.
Ma'am Joanne again.
Okay, so
Ma'am
who do
Joanne
you
Labajos.
host this call? John, do you want to go talk to us, John? John?
Sure, ma'am.
Yes. I'm Merlina McCullough.
Yes, nice meeting
Yeah.
you.
Nice to meet you.
I am from Subic, Zambales, and my specialization is science.
Okay. So John, we're gonna pretend like I'm interviewing you. And a lot of times it's not just one person. A lot of times there's 2, 3, some if you're applying in a big school, there might be as many as 5, 6, or 10 people. So you just have to be ready for that. The more people interviewing you, usually the bigger the school. In smaller
Yes, ma'am.
school, usually just like superintendent and principal, or just principal or whatever. In America, they do not have an assistant principal unless they have at least 250 students. So if they don't have 250, then they don't have to have an assistant, So, no, not 250, 500 students. So if you don't have 500 students in that building, then they really do not fund a assistant principal. But anyway, so if I would say, so Mr. How do you say your last name?
Lausares.
Lausares. Mr. Lausares, tell us something about yourself. Don't forget to only share professional information, no personal, not your age, not your marital status, nothing like that, okay? Go ahead.
Okay, ma'am. I'm almost 12 years in teaching science, both public and private schools. So mostly I'm taking the task of holding a group of teachers as a coordinator of the arts arts curriculum.
Curriculum,
So
okay?
and then most of the time I'm doing the task managerial task for my colleagues. So checking of their lesson plans and visiting their classrooms as a coordinator in. So and then I'm teaching science and special what do you call this one? Values ed. ESP.
Values ed would be about social studies. Would that be
Um,
here?
Edukasyon sa pagpapakatao.
So it's like
It
character education. So you just
Okay.
say that when you say values ed, you need to say it's like character education.
Character education.
Yes, that's what it is called here. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay. So are you ready for my comments?
Yeah, sige, sure,
Okay,
ma'am.
the first thing you're going to do is you have to thank the interviewer. Hi, good morning or good afternoon, whatever, if you have to know the time. Good morning, at first they're going to introduce themselves. Okay, so if they do that, then you need to get a piece of paper, start putting number one, who's seat number one, what they said the person's name is, last name, and then put what their title is. So that way, when you call them, there's going to be impressed by, oh, Dr. McCullough is the principal. And Dr. Smith over here is a superintendent, all that. So, Superintendent Smith, Principal McCullough, you can do that. Then that means you are really paying attention. So you're thanking them for their time. I know you're busy, and thank you so much for this opportunity to interview with you. My name is, and then you can make sure you tell them your name because there are going to be a lot of people there. They want to know who you are. Okay, because a lot of times if it's Zoom, they're going to record it. So you really need your name recorded. Okay, so you want your name and you want to say, I graduated, with a degree in, so whatever your degree is. And then I have so many years of experience. Do not say exact, like 29 years, just say 20 plus years or more than 10 years of experience, something like that. And so I have taught this grades, I like, for example, for me, I would say, I have taught all the grades except 10th and 12th grade. So I've taught K, K-12 or actually K-20 because I teach master's classes as well. But anyway, so you can tell them that. And for leadership opportunities for me, I'm honored to be to be a teacher leader where I get to check the lesson plans of my colleagues and so on. And in the US, that's being done by like an assistant principal or principal. But here in the Philippines, we actually have teacher leaders that would do that. So they don't know that because they're going to think, oh, is he principal? Why is he checking lesson plans? Because here in the US, only the department's head, department heads or actually principal or assistant principal that would do that. So that's something that's going to surprise them if you say that and not explain it. Okay. And that's why when you say you also teach values ed, well, in America, that's called character education. So you can just say that too, because that way, that because they're also going to be like writing it down. What is values ed? We don't have that here, so yeah, any of the innovative classes or whatever that Filipinos do that Americans don't, you might want to explain it a little bit, especially if it's being said in our language. You have to translate that to English. Okay. And
Okay.
so, what else? Your extracurricular, and I told this to Mike and others. try to sell yourself is really what you're doing when you're interviewing, right? So you need to tell them that I love, for example, me, I love chess. I've always played chess when I was little. I was chess champion in college, but humbly, so I love chess, and that's why I ended up coaching chess. I coach K-12, students in chess. I have as
So
many as 77
it's
students.
okay to tell them
Huh?
that I love music because
Yeah,
I'm playing.
you can say that. I love music, and I would love to do some kind of extracurricular things for kids after school and music, whatever ideas that you have, because they encourage the teachers to do extracurricular things.
Okay.
I taught at a school in Little Rock where we were required to host two different clubs. I was a science fair club teacher, and I was the Olympiad teacher, which is like a quiz bowl for science. And so we were required to do that in a charter school. But thankfully, most schools do not require you. But one of the standards that they're going to check whenever they grade you as a teacher is under professionalism is asking you if you do extracurricular things. Like, for example, do you go to the community basketball game, like the kids play on Thursday and Friday night? Do you go and attend that? Do you volunteer in the snack room where they would, sell the food and whatever for the school? Do you do any of that volunteer work? Because that looks good on you whenever you go above and beyond. Or do you, like, for example, the Filipino teachers here, they do a lot of things together, just like they shared about traveling together and doing all these things together, Filipino community things that they do. Those are things that are going to look good for them because they are with their colleagues. That's like professional learning experiences with others. So that's your collaboration piece. Okay, because if you don't do that, if you just go back and sit at home and do not ever do any learning other than you teaching, then that's not going to be good for you. You need to show that you are always learning. Okay, so
Okay.
do you also need to include your teaching philosophy? So John, what is your teaching philosophy? What do you believe about teaching and how children learn?
My teaching philosophy is to help the students to develop themselves.
Okay, then you might want to expand that. My teaching philosophy involves, my belief that, and then you explain it. For example, you always, you know what, one of the most important words that you should use in an interview is for example. You say, for example, in my classroom, I do this. For example, in my school, we did this. For example, I remembered one student that did this. My student Dennis did this, or my student Maria did this. You want to make it personalized for you, because you don't want it to like an answer that's so generic that anybody could be plugged in there in your spot, and we don't know that's John. Okay, we want to know that is John. We want to know that is Giselle or Mike or whatever, because it is very personalized for you. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
I'm
Thank
being
you.
wordy. I'm so sorry. But anyway, so what did you get from that? What kind of tip do you get from me that you did not, that you want to do whenever I ask you again or somebody else asks you to tell about yourself? What did you get? What did you take notes on?
So I'm writing what you are telling me, ma'am, what I'm going to say here.
Okay.
So
Like what?
personalize the everything. It
The
will be
answers.
have example.
Okay.
And then of course, I'm honored to this one. You have to introduce yourself and regards those persons in front of you.
Take notes of who they are and call
Mhm.
them by their last name. Okay. And
And
what they are. You need to know, for example, if a person that's going to be like a human resource HR person, their question is going to be more of like a district related question because they're district personnel. And of course, a principal would ask you a question that is for the school. Okay. Of course, a teacher might be asking you because a lot of times some schools have like committees, interview committees. So they'll have a representative teacher, principal, and then maybe a district person. So you need to, if you know who they are, then you can kind of tailor your answer to what they might want to hear, because if a teacher is asking you, of course, you're going to talk to a teacher and teaching them about strategies that you might have done or some examples in your classroom. Some interviews could be saying, so if I were a fly in the room, in the wall, in your classroom, what would I hear? What would I see? What would I hear? What do I observe? So how do you answer that, John, if I ask you that? What do I hear? What do I observe? What do I see? If I'm a wall, if I'm a fly on the wall, observing you.
I'm just going to follow follow what is required in the curriculum.
You can't do that. You have to say, okay, you will see me, but when I open my class, I will be by the door, and I'll be greeting my students as they come in. I want to make sure that I personalize my comments to them and so on, because of course this is based on my knowledge of students. Okay. So there's your answer. The first core proposition is that you know the students. So you do that. You bring it in, right? And so when they come in the classroom, I have a bell ringer already ready right there, and my overhead or my monitor already have that bell ringer question, so they can look up and see. And so then that way, while they're doing that for 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, I'm doing my attendance. I'm doing my lunch count, because you have to have a lunch count every day, and all these other housekeeping things that I have to do in the morning. So then my students, and a lot of times in my classroom anyway, I always have a student leader. So a student leader would make sure that while I'm doing something, they are the ones that's going to be monitoring, an assistant with it. So anyway, or president and vice president, whatever you call them. But anyway, so they will see that. And then after that, when I start my class, I would have my objectives, my goals posted on the wall. That's going to be posted every day, change every day. So I'm going to be telling my students that this is what we're going to be learning today. So at the end of the day, at the end of the period, you should learn this, this, and this. Okay. And then there also, as administrator, I'll be looking at how you're going to be kind of breaking it down. So there are 3 things you're going to learn today, because at the end of the period, you're going to go back to those objectives and check, did we meet this? Did we meet this? Did we meet this? Okay. And I would give you a hint that if somebody's observing you in your classroom, try to share the objectives at the end to them, so they know what you're, what you're teaching the kids. As administrator, I might be asking, like, what you're learning today, what your teacher teaching you. I might whisper that to one of your students, you see. So if I'm a fly on the wall, I'll be seeing you doing these objectives, teaching mine. I always starting with, sometimes I might start with a 3-minute video, learning channel or YouTube that relates to my topic in order to engage my students. And then after that, I will do some kind of, a 10-minute, mini lesson on whatever it is the topic is. When you can even use a specific topic. Okay, so for example, like science, you give them an example of a science topic that you might want to say. I will do that, and then after that, I will provide, make sure that the students in their groups would get the materials. The material manager would go get the materials, and they're going to do the activity. So, but I have already given them whatever your directions and so on, and then they do the activity. After that, they will report to the class what they found. Every group will report, and then we're going to debrief. Okay, so at the end of the period, they should see me going back to the objectives and checking and seeing if we met the 3 objectives I said that we would meet. And if we didn't, then I know that the next day I will have to cover that. Or if I knew, of course, I forgot to say, during the middle of the lesson, you also need to make sure that you have formative assessment. You're checking for understanding. Like, for example, if you agree with me, thumbs up. If you don't, thumbs down. Or if you're confused, thumbs sideways, things like that. Because I would do it for elementary. I would say, if you understood me, I want you to get up and hop like a rabbit. Don't do that for the high school. They're going to think that it's too elementary. But elementary, to wake them up, especially at the end, in the afternoon after lunch, I would do something like that in order to know that they're still with me. But they think it's also fun to do that. Or for brain, so brain research is saying that if they cross their hand over the middle, that's good. So I want you to touch your right hand to your left ear. If not, you do it the other way, whatever. So, or stand up or sit down, different things like that, just to get them off of their seat. You learn as much as what your bottom can endure. So if you are if you are so tired because you've been sitting all day, and we have experienced that as teachers, we go in a PD or professional development, and this person presenting is just boring us to death. No activities whatsoever. They're just talking and likes to listen to themselves talk. Then we're gonna be bored because they don't even know what you're thinking because they didn't go back and ask, why did you get this so far? Okay, and then process. So that goes to your strategy of like 10-2 strategy, 10 minutes of teacher talk or presenter talk, and then 2 minutes of processing. So you go back to your students after 10 minutes. You say, okay, what did you get from that? What did you tell me what you're thinking? Okay, do you have any questions? Whatever, so I want you to do a TPS, think, pair, share. I want you to go to your neighbor and tell them about what you're thinking about this question. And then call a couple of kids to see what they've learned, what they've heard, in the group. And so anyway, so you are checking for understanding. And that is a lot of times a weakness of some teachers, that they do not check for understanding. They do not know if their students are learning. So they do not do assessment at all. So, and at the end of the period, if you have time, you might want to ask them to do like a little exit slip. Tell me something that I always do on my PDs. I would say 3 things you learn, 2 things that you can use now, and 1 thing that you still have a question on for me. And they do that digitally, of course, for me. So then it's also more of a feedback for you, because they all said that they still have a question on particular topics. As a teacher that, I did not explain that very well, because why is everybody saying that they still have questions on these 2 things, the bulleted things? But if they put on their 3 things that they learn, same things, that means, you did a good job on that. You must have done a very detailed job on that, because why is everybody putting bullets there that they've learned this? So not just to know what the kids know, but it's also what you need to know in order for you to decide, am I going on or am I reteaching? Okay, that's where your reflection is. So I actually shared with you the 5 core propositions: your knowledge of students, your knowledge of content, what you know about your topic, and your assessment. How did you assess for understanding? Then at the end of the period, you're going to assess or reflect. How did I do? What did the lesson do well? Did I meet my objectives? And so on. And then, of course, the collaboration piece would be, who did you collaborate for that lesson? Did you collaborate with another teacher? Or did you collaborated with next door neighbor, whatever, So whoever you collaborated with in order to do that lesson. So you've got your 5 core propositions there. So if you have your answers like that, you're going to be good. Okay. So I think most of those that are regulars here could really tell you the 5 core propositions, because I always say this. Can somebody tell me, those that had already done interview? I know the Memphis 13, if any of you could answer, how did the 5 core propositions help you during your interview? I would love to know. Giselle might know the answer to this, or somebody else. How did you know? Did you use it, and how did it work? Nobody? I'm gonna have to ask you, Mike, if you can call anybody for me.
Doc Marina. Doc Marina.
Okay, Myrna, go ahead. Tell me,
Yeah,
Myrna.
yeah, because one of the 5 is that your students, right?
Mhm.
And the interviewers asked me, how are you going to design your activities for the day? So
Good.
that is one way of knowing the students, because
Yeah.
because as teachers we tend to get too excited to teach the subject.
Mhm.
Okay, but only the little that we didn't know that we are supposed to teach the students.
Students, that's
Okay.
right. That's right.
Yeah. So knowing the students will really help you design the activities.
Mhm.
And then also coordinate with the parents.
That's right. That's right.
Because,
That's another
yes,
collaboration pieces that you have. Yep.
yes,
Yep. Good
collaborate
one.
with the parents. Yes, just a practical. I mean, a concrete example is that now that I'm on my 4th month here, I am happy that there are those parents who would just give me a call, Miss Mirna, how is my son? There is this constant communication now. Please update me if something happened. But what they got surprised where because there was a time that I called and they said, "Hey, Miss Mirna, what happened? Did my grandson misbehave?" I said, "No, I just wanted to tell you that your grandson has been doing very well for the past 2 weeks. I didn't have any problem." So when we call the parents, we just tell them what the negative side. Also, we have to tell them the improvement of the child.
Yep.
In that
Very
way, the
good.
students will also be inspired. And the following morning they said, Miss Myrna, my grandma told me you called
Oh
out.
yeah, they love that, right? Yeah, because
Yes,
they
yes,
make you made them proud. You're
yes.
not just harping on their kid because they did bad, but you were bragging on them. And I think that's
Yes,
what we should do. Get a communication notebook and make sure that you make yourself a point that I need to call so many parents every week.
yes.
If I see somebody that just really did so much better, or I just need to brag on this kid, I would always call grandparents or parents, whoever it is that they've listed down, because that's gonna be even more, because they're gonna share with them saying, oh, your science teacher called and this is what the science teacher said, and so there's more positive relationship and trust relationship with you and the student, because you'll form that with the parents. And they,
And
I don't
also they
care
would
how,
know.
huh?
And also they would know, beware, because any moment Miss Mary can give our parents a call.
Yeah, yeah, they'll also be aware of that. But they, I don't care what age they are, they're gonna validation.
Yes,
The word validation is so important. So if you validated them by praising them, motivating them, that's you got half of the battle won, right? Because the kids are gonna do the best for those teachers that they like. Because why? The teachers validated them, motivated them, did not put them down, but raised them up, and that's the kind of teacher, growth mindset teacher, that you're not there yet, but I know that you're going to continue to grow. And I always told my students, I'm not gonna expecting you to be learning the first time I said this. We're going to do activities with this. We're going to do presentation on this. We're going to do project on this. And then hopefully by whatever you should be masters on this. You should be expert on this topic. But we are not there yet. It's okay. The word yet should be a favorite word for growth mindset, because you do not expect perfection the first time. Practice is important, right?
yes.
Marna, you just really think the same as me.
Because
I think
I got it from
I
you.
got you
I got it from
indoctrinated.
you. I got it from you, Doc
Well,
Merlina.
thank you. See how humble she is. She just roll right back at you. But anyway, thank you so much. But
And
I
then
learned from you, from everybody. Not just I don't have all the answers. And that's another point that I want to make. If they ask you a question and you do not know the answer, you just say, you know what? I really don't have any idea about how to answer that on the US specific way. But in the Philippines, this is what we do. You can share that, because you might not know how it is done in the US, unless we have attended my 80 something. This is my 89th video, my 89 Zooms. You might not know. And it's okay to say, I do not know, but I know I could ask Dr. McCullough, my mentor online. That's a retired professor, retired teacher from Arkansas, administrator. And so I know I could ask her. And so anyway, but I have resources, I could ask that. But this is what we do. I do in my classroom. And so you offer that example, but then you are not too proud to admit that I don't know everything. Nobody's expected to know everything in this world, right? Nobody. You could never say a person knows everything. Never. They
yes,
might have expertise in a field, but a lot of times I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't know about that. Let's Google it. My kids are like that. Miss McCullough, do you want me to Google it? I say, yep, please Google it and see what Google says, Or now that we have Siri on our iPhones, like Siri. So I would ask that in the middle of presentation or the middle of lesson. And it's okay. It's okay for them to see that, yes, we have resources. That's why we don't have to memorize things, because we have resources we can get. Now with technology, we can use that. So anyway, and I think that really breeds, like Maria said, it really breeds trust when you show that you're vulnerable, that I'm not perfect. I'm human like you, that I will make mistakes. And if I make mistakes and you find it, you tell me. You have to say it in a respectful way. But Ms. McCullough, you know what you said yesterday? I thought, no, they found something else. And I'm like, oh, thank you for sharing that. My information must be outdated. Thank you for updating me. I appreciate your sharing that, whatever. So I'm not gonna be too proud to admit that, this child saw more updated information than me, and so on. I would actually validate that child, so instead of like some teachers that are negative teachers, might insult them. How dare you? Like I'm the teacher and you're the student. Don't ever do that, ever. So because I think the kids need to see, the students need to see that we are learners like them, right? Do you agree, Myrna? That we are learners like themselves, right?
Yes, yes, Doc. Yes, Doc. Actually, it just happened the other day. The students asked me something, so I was able to answer it at once. But there was a certain topic that they said, okay, I would have to admit I am not so sure of the answer. I don't want to multiply the mistake. Could you please give me some time to research on that?
It's
And then they
okay to
said,
do that.
oh, yeah, it's good, Miss Marina, it's okay.
Yeah. And they'll go home and say, my teacher actually, would look up things, would actually look for resources. She actually does not have all the answer, and that's okay, right?
And
That
the
is what
following day, when we met in the corridor, they asked, hey, Miss Marina, good, I was able to look at that.
and that's one thing that you say too. If you promise the kids, you better do it because they will ask you. And you don't want to be a liar about it. But yeah, so great points that you made. So anyway, yeah, though to me, there's a pride thing. We have this pride thing, but in the Philippines, you may find yourself. I know I did not teach in the Philippines. I got my education here in the US, but so all my teaching and administrative experiences are in the US. But I was a student in the Philippines until I was 19 years old. So then I came here. So we might have this, if you have taught there, you might be thinking like, I am right here, I am in the pedestal, and you are right there down there. Sometimes that's not something you should practice in the US. If you do that to the students, you're not going to be successful because they can't stand it. They're gonna say, oh my gosh, what's this teacher, a know-it-all? Or what's this teacher like she thinks that she's better than us or whatever, so it's very, very I think it's a very good warning to everyone. Don't, if you just think of yourself as a learner like them, you will be better off than like, I am right here and you are right there. Never. Right? Do you agree, Myrna?
Yes, Doc. As I always say, remove your crown. Remove your crown.
Yep. Ego. Put it, check it by the door. Your ego. But anyway, yeah, and I think it goes in life, not just in the classroom, actually, right? That to be humble is better than somebody that actually would just brag that, oh, I know this, whatever. So I'll try to, and we have humble bragging in our culture, not just, in our culture, we do humble brag, which means that, oh, I'm so humble, but I am bragging, and all that. I catch myself doing that. And I have to like, my son, Jet, like, Mom, did you know you just humble bragged a while ago? And I'm like, oh, sorry, Jet, part of my culture. So anyway, but we have that as part of our culture. We are, we try to be humble, but we're also so proud. My mom sometimes embarrassed me because my 83-year-old mother, oh, my daughter Merlina does this, my daughter, I'm like, Mom, no. You just met this person. But anyway, but they're just proud of us. And that is part, of us. We are proud of, our children and our relatives or friends, but just kind of catch yourself on that humble bragging. All right. So next, Mike, thank you again, Myrna. Mike, who's next? Thank you, John. John did a good job.
Thank you.
Yeah. So who else is brave enough to talk? Kidding. I really want
Yes po, Doc.
to,
Yeah, I think Mr. Julius Edrosalam want to introduce himself po.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Um, Hi everybody. Hi Dr. Merlin.
Hey, yes, Marlena is fine.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm Merlin. Yeah. So good morning everybody. I am Mr. Julius Amidrosalam. I have over 16 years of teaching experience across various countries and institutions. But in the Philippines, I have spent 6 years of teaching, 2 years in a private school and 4 years in a public school. Then my teaching journey continued in Qatar, where I've been dedicated to educating students for the past 10 years. So throughout my career, I specialized teaching science, physical education, and disaster risk reduction, providing them a well-rounded education. And additionally, I have served as well as an activity coordinator for my department, where I organize extracurricular programs that would enrich students' learning experiences and
Galing
foster
ah.
sense of community.
Del,
So my
nakinig
diverse
ako. Ang galing ah.
Excuse me.
my diverse
Roslyn, hang
teaching
on.
background
Okay, go ahead, Julius.
and international experience have equipped me with a broad perspective and ability to adopt different educational environments. As a teacher, I firmly believe that education is not just about imparting knowledge, but it's also about inspiring a love of learning and fostering critical thinking to our students. My teaching philosophies centers on creating an inclusive, dynamic classroom environment where I make it a point that every student feels valued and empowered to reach their full potential. I strive to tailor or to create things to make it possible by different teaching strategies with their unique needs. And I have to ensure that not only for them to understand things, but also to develop the confidence and to apply their knowledge in a real world situation. In my experience in teaching science and other subjects, I make it a point that I will utilize various techniques to engage students, to deepen their understanding, and I always emphasize on hands-on learning through experiments and projects. Because encouraging students exploring scientific concepts through practical application is very, very significant. I make it a point that I would integrate technology by having interactive simulations, virtual lab experiences, visual complex and processes. And I make it a point also that I do collaboratively work with my co-teachers because whenever like I have some, so we say, questions or updates about particular subject, I make it a point that I would ask them as well. And additionally, as I've said, I foster critical thinking and problem solving skills through inquiry-based learning where the students can formulate questions, they can conduct investigation, and they can draw conclusions based on their evidences. And as a teacher as well, it's very important for me during my experience here in Qatar with my colleagues also to create a very positive learning environment because I employ a proactive approach by employing establishing clear expectations, routines, and consequences from the beginning of the class until the end. And also like giving feedback to the students and as well as communicating with the parents. Because building a strong relationship with the students, with the parents, with the community, this will ensure that they will feel respected and valued. Because positive reinforcement, positive environment, consistent communication, conflict resolutions if
Okay,
there
stop right
is.
there.
These are the
Stop right there.
strategies.
Stop right there
Um,
because Julius, you are only given usually 2 minutes to do this. So you
okay.
cannot go and dump. Do not dump information like you did. I would rather have you pick 2 or 3 things that you're going to talk about instead of like a million things that I'm like, my notes over here is full. And so as an interviewer, I would say, okay, why is this person just like, like sharing you having a brain dump? Make sure that you put it on focus, okay? And this is for everyone. Let's pronounce science. We don't, in the Philippines, we say science, right? It sounds like
Okay.
SIGNS. So it needs to be science. Okay, we need to pronounce
Science.
it to be, everybody, let's pronounce it. Science.
Science.
That's right.
Science.
How about colleagues?
Colleagues.
That's right, colleagues. In the Philippines, we say colleagues. Okay, so there's Joanne Laval. Anyway, yeah, so yeah, it's colleagues. Okay, so make sure that those things like that. A lot of times when they are if in the interview committee and you have someone that's against hiring an international teacher, and you know what, a lot of the common reasons they use is that, oh, our kids are not going to understand them. Did you notice how this person pronounced science, how this teacher pronounced colleagues instead of colleagues? This person pronounced it colleagues. Our students are not going to understand this teacher. They're going to try to use that against you. So that's why whenever I ask you to pronounce it here, it's never a personal thing. It's not about you. It's about in our culture. That's how we pronounce it. My husband used to joke about, yeah, Merlina used to say difficulties, difficulties, we have different accent, and that is part of our culture. But if we do not know better, we don't do better, right? So I feel like part of my job as a mentor to you guys is to make that correction. And I don't ever take it personally because it is never meant to be personal or insulting. Never. That is not in my vocabulary, okay? But you did a good job of those things that you said are key terms that should be included somewhere in your interview. Just do not dump it in your 2-minute interview about yourself. Okay, pick like 2, 3, 4 things possibly, and then during your answers, plug in those things that you said. Do you agree, Joanne Labajo? Do you agree?
Well, I do agree with that because I am having that experience right now here in my school.
Yeah.
different languages, different dialect coming from the Philippines. So
Yeah.
we are trying to help that teacher, but then the teacher still keeps on saying, "We're going to." What? There is no "we're going to." So
Yeah.
we need to be careful with our words. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that input. Julius, back to Julius. I really like that you have hand signals. Okay. I love the hand signal, but sometimes it might be on the way, like, the camera's right here. And if you're doing your hand signal right here, it looks like you're covering your face. Do you agree with me? That if you look at this recording later, because I'm going to send you the link to this, and also I'm going to post this on Facebook and YouTube, and you can see what I'm talking about, because it's good to have this. And I struggled with this, by the way, because sometimes I do a lot of hand gestures on my talking. I talk more with my hands a lot, but make sure that it is fitting with what you're saying, and it's not just like this. Okay, so they said that a good speaker is the one that would actually like make their point with their hand, but not overdo it. Okay, and I used to overdo it a lot. And so now I kind of self-reflect when I watch the video. I'm like, Merlina, why did you do? You did a lot of that, So I would actually reflect back and say, okay, I need to do better on that one. And also looking at the camera, you're talking, it's like the camera there is like you're talking to that person's eyes, right? So if you look somewhere else, then you are in America, it's considered rude when you don't look people in the eye, like in our culture, we're like, you have, when we were little, like, hey, are you looking at my eyes? Are you defying me? Your dad would say, because we're supposed to put our head down when they're scolding us. Well, it's the opposite here. You have to look at them in the eye when you're being disciplined. Your kids are going to look up at you in the eye. They're not defying you. They're not trying to define you. It's because a culture is encouraging them that it's important to look at people in the eye. Because if not, then you're being rude to them. Okay? So that's something that you might want to be aware of, because that is something that's a misconception with teachers. They would say, oh, that particular student is rude because I was scolding the student, and then student just like look at me, and all this, and because we're not used to that in our culture, right? And another thing that you might want to also be aware of is that different within America, there are also cultural differences. Like I'm married to a white person, Caucasian. Dwayne is Caucasian, but we have a lot of friends that are African Americans. They are so different. They would say things like, Merlina, when we go to you go to a black church, that it's a good sermon when like everybody's saying, hallelujah, brother, all this very, very loud. The louder they are, the better the sermon. Okay. But in the white church, they would say, so quiet, like the Philippines, very quiet. We're just listening and all that. So the quieter they are, the better. See, it's a cultural thing. So if you have a child that's really, loud, whatever, because that is part of their culture, they think that that's okay because that is part of their culture. So you have to understand that, and you have to adjust. Sometimes if it's distracting, you can just want to lower your voice. I know you're excited, but we might want to use our inside voice, okay? I would say things like that. That's why, I put 0. Level 0 is quiet. Level 1 is whisper. And level 2 is regular talk. And level 3 is like a presentation. So you can remind them. If you post that on your board, you can say, we're on level 0. So nobody should be talking. Okay? So quiet. That means I want you to reflect. I want you to think. So it's 0. All I have to do is put my signals. 0. 1. That means I want you to whisper. If you're going to do think, pair, and share, I'm going to show my finger 1. That means you're going to be whispering to your partner. Okay. So anyway, so things like that would help. And but really, Julius, your teaching philosophy is awesome. Okay, I really know that you have you have a lot of things. Technology, I love the example that you use on technology. You said specific things. on it and some of the things that I said. Inclusive classroom, love that. You said something about developing the confidence of your students. That is awesome. Okay, so those things like that, make sure you have those terms, but plug it in on the answers. Okay, they're going to be asking you. That's why I don't want you to put a lot of information on your 2-minute introduction, because you are given so many minutes. As an administrator, I may only have an hour carved for interviews, and in that hour, I may be interviewing 5 people. So I only have 12 minutes, and that includes our introduction and so on. So I won't have very much to talk to every person. So you don't want to blow that few minutes on your introduction. You'd rather have them ask you questions, because the more questions they ask you, the better it is for you, because then they get to know you more. Okay. So anyway, so that's it. That's all my comments. You're gonna do well on your interview. You're very fluent. So just remember the I thing, okay? So Julia's feedback. Did I do too much comment? I should not have, but I was just really talking not just to you, but to everybody, in
Yeah,
order to yeah.
Dr. Merlina, I really appreciate, okay, the
Oh,
comment. And apologies because about the camera, because like the camera of this laptop is at the level of the keyboards, like that. So it's
Ah,
not on the yeah. It's like if I because I'm worried if I'm going to do like this,
uh-huh.
I might seem awkward or what.
Yeah,
So that's why I'm trying, but not a problem. I'll
yeah,
try to manage it.
yeah,
And then also, I thank you very much for the terms that you corrected me. I really appreciate those terms.
yeah.
Though, yeah, like what you said, because in the Philippines we used to call it science, as
Mm-hmm,
it sounds, we're in it should be science,
mm-hmm.
and of course the
Science.
colleagues, not a
Mm-hmm.
problem.
There you
So
go.
it's really appreciated. And then
Yeah.
from this now on, actually, I really appreciate the feedback because it would really help me a lot. And also, thank you for this opportunity
Very good.
and to Sir Mike and also to the rest of the group, okay, for accepting me, though I came in late
No,
a
you're okay,
bit.
Julius. Don't tell on yourself. Hi, Julius. At the end of the interview, that's exactly what you do. You thank them for their time, okay? And on top of that, you email them too to thank them. So of course, somebody had been contacting you to set up the Zoom. You need to thank that person. Say, I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed visiting with you all, and I hope to hear from you soon. It was so fun just talking to you, or I've learned a lot
Mhm.
about your school, things like that you were comment. That, as an administrator, that impresses me. When a teacher actually, after the interview, would actually give feedback, and thanking us. That's always impressive. So that might just lean you over from the no to the yes, or maybe to a yes. So it will not hurt to do that. Okay, because then you're putting yourself in, like, okay, remember me, remember me
Mhm.
mode. Okay. All right. Thank you. Good job. Awesome job, Julius. Okay. So next, Mike.
Yes po. Thank you very much, sir. Sir Julius. And I think no one
No
typed
one
in their name
volunteers?
there. Yes po. And I think Sir Erwin want to
Okay.
share
Yes.
his experiences on how to apply here in the USA, so that the newcomers here will have um an idea how to start applying in the USA.
Very good. Erwin, when you introduce yourself, make sure you tell them what grade you are, and which school, which state you're in, and so on. Okay. Thank you so much.
And remember, Doc, he is one of the best applicant before. You
Yeah.
remember it?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. His self-introduction I use as an example, and I think it's still on the website, because I used it I featured it. Okay. So it's pinned on our website, on our ITSA website. But
Hello,
anyway, so
Doc. Good
Erwin, there's
morning.
Erwin.
Hello, Doc. Good morning. Hello, Sir Mike.
Hello.
Good morning. That's too much.
Oh, no. Is it snowing there in Missouri? Is it
Oh,
snow?
I'm not in Missouri, Doc. I'm
Iowa.
in
Oh, Iowa.
Iowa.
I'm sorry.
Iowa.
Yeah.
Iowa.
Nakakainis yung Sir Mike. Actually, Doc,
Iowa
I
is
just I
snowing like crazy, or no?
again, Doc?
Is it snowing bad in Iowa?
No. Yeah, it's
No.
snowing, but not as frequent as in Missouri.
Okay.
Yeah, we do not
That's
actually today. We do not have snow around, and we're actually wishing to have this snow
oh yeah.
this past days, but I
Oh,
think it's not for us.
it turned. See, sometimes it would turn, it would turn that
Yeah,
right or left or
yeah.
whatever.
They
I
said
think
that
this one
that
turned.
they said snow comes at around, I think, around January and February, but until today, not as frequent as what Sir Jeff have in Missouri.
Yeah. That's funny because Missouri, Arkansas, and there's Missouri and in Iowa. And so
Yeah,
you would think Iowa, because it's north, that you would
that's
have
true.
more, but it's just,
Yeah,
they're south of you. So that's
yeah,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. I don't know what to say.
Now
My
introduce
goodness.
yourself, Erwin. Introduce
Yeah,
yourself and tell them when you can arrive.
yeah. I'm sorry, Doc, because I just spoke. Anyway, I'm Erwin Angelo Baduria from yes, our beautiful country, the Philippines, specifically Zambales. I just arrived last November. Um, Applying in the United States is really really hard. Okay, that's my experience, and I know that this experience is also the experience of other teachers with me, like Sir Mike. I mean Sir Jeff, Ma'am Mirna, Ma'am Marlene, and as well as Ma'am Giselle. Um, you have to have uh the drive and the dedication, commitment, and yeah, aside from that, your financial risk, like you have to invest because of your Spantran, your FCE, your license. You have to invest with that. So you have to take, like investment is one part of this process that you have to take a look at. So
Tell them
if
how
you're really
much. Tell them how
dedicated,
much, Erwin, please. Please tell them how
um,
much.
if I'm not mistaken, my FCE cost like around 18,000, because I run my transcript twice,
Mm,
because my first application with Spanfran is a general analysis, and I don't know that yet, that it should be a course by course analysis. So what I did is to ask Spanfran to rerun it again,
mm,
and then they they provide me the new document, and I have to add, I
yeah.
think, like around 3,000 pesos, if I'm not mistaken.
So it might be 15 then. Okay.
Yep. And then your license, every state has its own license requirement,
Mm-hmm.
and the cost is also different. My first license was in Maryland, and that cost around 1,000 to $2,000, pesos rather.
Pesos. Yeah. 40,
So
40
that's
bucks.
that's that's cheaper than my license here in Iowa, because my license here in Iowa needs to have a fingerprint from the Philippines. I have to send it here, and then
Uh,
the application.
Sir Sir Erwin, Doc Merlina, sorry to interrupt po. Ma'am, Miss Lisa Bailey is here
Oh,
now.
is there? Okay. Let
Okay,
me, Miss Lisa, let me have Erwin finish and I'll be right there with
Okay
you
po.
next. Okay. Thank you.
okay.
Thank you, partner.
I will I
Go
will
ahead.
wrap up this as fast as I can now.
You could go ahead.
Okay, for those of you guys who are applying here in the United States, if you are in your interview session, always look at the camera and always speak with your heart.
Mhm.
Be at your core and be as authentic as you are. You don't have to read anything on the screen. Just tell them who you are, what you are, um, because authenticity is better than reading.
Right.
Okay, be at your
Exactly.
core. I think that's the best thing, and yeah, always speaks with your heart,
Mhm.
because your heart will tell them that you are sincere with the job that you are applying.
That's
I
right.
think that's the best point of this application
That's right.
so far.
Yeah.
That's it.
Good job.
That's it,
And
Doc.
you do an amazing job with that. I have attended 2 of your interviews and you do an amazing
Yeah,
job.
thank you so much.
Yeah, you just visited with them, and that's when I know that you did well. Yeah, thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that from Iowa.
Yes,
Okay,
Doc.
thank you. Okay, my
See you very,
partner,
very soon.
bye-bye. My partner, Lisa Bailey, my BFF, is one of the smartest people I know in this world. Worked with her at the Arkansas Department of Education. She now works with me, going to Brinkley with Mike's bunch. There's 7 of them there, teachers, and so we usually take turns going. So, Ms. Lisa, do you have anything to share based on your observations from the Filipino teachers? or of the Filipino teachers? Did we lose Miss Lisa?
Good morning.
Morning. Congratulations, by the way, on your she just got engaged.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know I was going to be speaking. I would have done my hair.
Oh, you're fine.
I just want to say that the enthusiasm and the dedication from these teachers is just phenomenal. I just absolutely love being in their classrooms, seeing how they engage with students, watching them interact and show support for kids in every way. I was in a classroom this past week and a student came and said, "Can I talk to you?" And the teacher said, "Absolutely. You come at such and such time and we'll chat." And just the way that they care for their students and support their students is just wonderful. And I absolutely love being a part of that and seeing that on a regular basis. Like every time I visit, it isn't just academic, it's support for the whole child.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's impressive though, right? That's good that they know they should care about students, not just in your classroom, but outside too. Yeah, whole child. That's right. So for those applicants, Miss Lisa, Miss Bailey, what would you recommend that they should do when they interview, for example, or even when they come here?
I think share more about why they want to be here.
Yeah.
Like what is it about supporting students and caring for students that is so meaningful to them that they would want to travel here and do that here in America? The academic part, I think everybody is, everybody knows that that's what's expected, right? But when you express your desire to support students in every way, emotionally, socially, it goes much further than academic. And so if there's a way for you to convey that in the interview, I think that goes a long way with those who are doing the interview.
Mm-hmm. Very good point, because you use Maslow's PIES, right? Physical, intellectual, social, and emotional. So emotional and then social. Yeah, I think that when they do that, that's above and beyond just the academic, which is what we're looking for as administrators. We want to put a teacher there that cares about kids, not just I'm coming here to teach. I think Joanne said that. Was it Joanne or Myrna said that? We're not teaching the content. We're teaching students. Okay,
right.
We are teaching them, that the whole child, like Miss Lisa said.
Yes.
Because otherwise, anybody could just do it. And that's why, they always say like AI would replace us. Well, AI might not get the whole child, PIES, right? And so I don't think they can replace us.
I don't think the social emotional aspect of learning can ever be replaced by any type of artificial intelligence, because the rapport goes a long way. The relationship goes a long way toward the learning.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I think you summarized that well. So what other pitfalls or any tips that you would like to share with them, that because there's going to be a bunch of them would be so brand new here. I mean, like a bunch of them some of them are right here, but several of them are not here yet, or do not really know much about teaching in America. Lisa and I had the privilege of working together. So we can kind of have the same thoughts sometimes. So yeah.
What? I'm sorry, I don't understand what you
for a brand new person coming to America, what are the things that they should remember? Like, for example, cultural differences. I just mentioned, like, look people in the eye, because in our culture you have to look down, and that's the opposite here. So what are the things that I must not have thought about that they should remember?
Assert yourself.
Yeah.
Get involved beyond the classroom.
Yep.
Belong to school organizations. If you can get involved in your community, that also will help you with the cultural aspect of being in America. But it goes a long way too, I think, toward building your confidence in where you are and the people that you are working with and the students you are dealing with if you become familiar with your community. So being part of that, I think, is important. And then I spoke to one of the teachers at Brinkley Thursday about a positive attitude. You know, there are going to be things that you encounter that you're not going to like. I mean, that's just that's just part of life.
That's
Okay,
right.
but not being negative and talking about a situation outside of the situation. You know, go to the person that you are having the struggle with and confidently address that issue.
That's
And
right.
don't be negative about, you know, your administrators or your school or your students, specifically not your students. Try to maintain that positive attitude. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't, you know, get frustrated and say something every once in a while, you know, that just out of frustration, but as best you can to maintain a positive attitude about those that are in your environment. And I think another thing is just being able to communicate. You know, like I said, talking to those, not just the people that, you know, that are your colleagues, but also talking to the people in the community. Be able to communicate with with the folks around you. Like I said, get involved in community events. You know, attend community events. All of these little towns around Arkansas have, you know, different activities and events, even if it's just 3 or 4 times a year. You know, show up, let your face be seen in the community, and get to know people who live there, not just the students in your classroom, but the people who live around you. I think that's something that really benefits everyone.
Great summary of that, because you mentioned the negative Nancy. In the Philippines, we call that marites. So don't be a marites.
Yeah.
Don't be a marites. And I like the point, your point about you should be the biggest cheerleader of your school, of your colleagues. You know, there might be colleagues you don't like, but you do not need to air that in public, saying, "Oh, that so and so is bad" or whatever. Or even if you like the principal, you do not say that in public. Okay, I know some of them may be talking to each other in our language, but do not reach that to school or anything. Do not be saying that to the public, because that is a big no-no. Yeah, you should be the biggest cheerleader of your school. So yeah. As always, BFF, you always have great points. So thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was going to say anything. I might have been a little better prepared.
No. That's always a given, girl. Yeah, you're settling in your new place now?
I am. I'm pretty. Yeah, we have friends that were supposed to come over today and help us do some painting and things, but due to the weather, they're not able to come. So so we're a little behind on getting things in order, but we're getting there.
Yeah. Well, I would like to help if I can. So let me know, okay?
I will.
Yeah.
All right. Don't say it if you don't mean it.
Well, you know me, I mean it. I went to your first move, didn't I?
You did. You packed almost all my kitchen in the first move.
Yeah, I have not helped this time, but anyway, Miss Lisa, you know, we're so thankful that you even hosted our Filipino teachers and their families in
Well,
her beautiful swimming pool.
I was telling the teachers at Brinkley, I want to do something this spring or early summer here. I have a big backyard now. I don't have a pool anymore, but there's a pool right down the road.
Yeah.
So, but we could do like a big barbecue or something like that. I would love to do that again. That was just so much fun.
We'll organize it. I think
Okay.
Mike could help us. Yeah. And
That
then we
sounds
don't
great.
just do Brinkley. We can do other teachers too nearby. Because
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
they're so close.
Absolutely. I just don't visit other schools. So those were the folks that I was just talking to about it.
Yeah. They always socialize together, from Barton
Yeah.
to Helena, you know.
Yeah. Everybody be welcome. We'll just figure out a time we can do, like I said, maybe like a big barbecue or something outside, you know, where I can have like picnic tables and stuff like that, and we can have music, and we'll just we'll have a nice meal, and everybody who wants to stay can stay, and everybody who needs to go can go.
That's awesome. And then, do you know that Filipinos are big on karaoke, right?
Yes. Yeah, we definitely need to do that. We didn't do that last time.
Yeah, we have several teachers that are actually choir members in their church, in the Catholic church there. So they're
Okay.
good singers. Yeah.
Well, good. We'll
Just
have to
don't ask
plan
me.
that.
I'll be cheering them, but I cannot sing or dance.
Right, me too.
I'll be the biggest cheerleader. But
Yeah.
anyway, all right. Well, the perspective, and I also want Miss Lisa's perspective because she has, what, do you have 30, 40 years of experience? I have more than 30, but I know yours would be.
I have 40. I've been
40.
teaching 40 years. Yeah.
Yeah. See, between the two of
Doesn't
us, we
seem
have about
possible.
75 years of experience.
Yeah.
We're getting old. But anyhow, so the perspective from her point of view, and I don't know if you were already in when I was telling them about even the cultural differences between the Caucasian and the blacks, because
Yes.
did you hear that about the church? The quieter the church, the better for the whites.
Yeah.
Hallelujah, amen, and loud, for
That's true.
good, yeah.
That's
And my
very
friend
true.
told me that.
Yeah, and honestly, I love to go to a black church.
Me too.
To me, it's so spiritual.
Lively. Yeah, it's so lively.
Yes, it's so spiritual. Growing up, my granny had a really dear friend, black lady, and we went to her church several times when I was a child, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah, it's more fun to me. It's like not to me, almost like, you go to that and you go back to your church that's so quiet and it's like almost like boring, like, okay, where was that fun? Amen, hallelujah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, well, tell Mark I said hello and feel free to join us or leave, whatever you want to do, okay? We are going to be, I guess, I do not need to keep them so long because it's already late in the Philippines. I think it's 11 o'clock now there.
Okay.
But yeah, so thank you so much. And so you did go like last Thursday? The weather
Yes.
the weather did not catch you. Okay, good.
No, they got out at 1, and so I was back home before the weather hit.
Perfect, girl. So I'm gonna be coming this week. I will be the one. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. And then I'm going like the whole month of February, I think, because you have other obligations, right?
Yep. I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe I can do one. We'll switch it up. But anyway, I need to do at least once a month. Yeah. So anyway, we'll switch up March and February.
Okay.
Just one. I need to do at least one, not just the whole month.
Yeah.
That might not be good. But anyway, okay. Well, thank you so much. And anyway, we have quite a bit of people here.
Well, good.
Left. 20
Yeah.
Still left. It's a few of them left already because I'm sure they're going to bed. But anyway,
Right.
all right. Well, is it snowing big there?
We welcome all of you, and please apply, and please just know that you have all the support in the world from us, not just in the work that you're doing with students, but from the application process. Merlina is wonderful. From the application process all the way to your classroom needs, you have our support, and so please. Know that and feel confident in your application. If you need help with anything, we'll be glad to help.
Yep. Thank you so much. I appreciate you so much. Yep. Any question for Miss Lisa before Miss Lisa will before we go on to the next person, or Miss Lisa leave whatever she wants to do? Any question for her? Follow up. Remember what I told you, the more question, the better, right? Like in the classroom. So, and we'll remember you too if you ask questions, by the way. Hint, hint. Especially if you're new. Or comment.
I think Doc Julius Edrosalam has a question po.
Yeah, Julius, go ahead.
And Miss Lisa Bale can help
Miss
him.
Lisa. Question for Miss Lisa. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Again, good evening, Miss Lisa and Dr. Merlina. Because of I just want to ask because and to clarify about my situation now, because my situation, I'm here in Qatar, though I've worked here for 10 years as a teacher. Now I'm working in a training academy now as a senior training coordinator and assistant for operations. Though it's a training academy, also we are handling classes. Like it's a consultancy. Though I'm also engaged into teaching as of now. Does it really requires my mom like it has to be like really in a physical school to be in the US, or such experience? And like my situation now, I'm teaching in a training academy, though it's not a physical school. Will it be, what will be the effect, ma'am, so that I could plan ahead?
Lisa, do you have any comment on that? I have a little comment from the visa point of view.
I think your experience, as far as Arkansas, I'm not sure about outside of Arkansas, but I think in Arkansas, to be part of a consulting group where you are doing this type of out of the classroom support, or where you are creating content, curriculum, that kind of thing. I think most of the time the requirement would be that you have at least taught in Arkansas for a few years, maybe 2 years or more. My experience in working with consulting groups has always been the knowledge level of what's going on in our state. And so I think being a classroom teacher gives you kind of a leg up on being a support person in that type of work around the state. If you haven't taught here, then there are going to be aspects of the instructional process and aspects of the classroom that you may not be familiar with. So not to negate your experience of where you are and what you've done, but just to familiarize yourself with how things are done and what the expectations are for this particular state. I think it would benefit you to be a classroom teacher.
Yeah. In fact, when you answer additionally, thank you, Ms. Lisa. To add to Ms. Lisa's comments, the question that they're going to ask you is going to be towards as a classroom teacher. So if I were you, I would not even mention the consultancy part of it. Don't you think, Ms. Lisa? Because
Right.
that is not really what they're thinking. They're really asking you as a classroom teacher. So when you answer, that's what I would focus on, right? Because they're not hiring you to be a consultant. And here we have
Right. And
we have some virtual teachers. Ms. Lisa was working for one as a virtual academy, right? Online.
yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
So,
I worked for Arkansas Virtual Academy, and that work was wonderful. Very collegial. Honestly, didn't expect to be able to have the rapport with my colleagues virtually that I did. And so there are those types of opportunities where you wouldn't be in a physical classroom, but you would still be involved in the educational system in the state. So that might be something you would consider.
For the J1 and the K1 visa purposes, though, they're going to want you to be face to face because it's a cultural exchange program. It's like instead of international students or international teacher exchange, so they want you to have that cultural experience face to face.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking like after the 2 years in the classroom, that might be something that you might want to try, right? Isn't it a 2-year?
They have 5 years for the
5 years.
for the J1.
Okay.
Yeah, they have 5 years.
Okay.
And then they have to go back to the Philippines 2 years before they can do another 5.
Okay, I
But
guess that's what I was thinking with the
Yeah.
2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years after the 5 years. And so
Okay.
with Mike being H1B, he's an immigrant, so he can
Right.
just actually get a green card with H1B.
Yeah.
But very hard to get somebody that would sponsor you with H1B because they're responsible for you for at least 10 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So many schools would not be like, nope, we don't do that. And so they're afraid because their legal department will always say, nope, don't do that. So if I always get questions about where can we find schools that do that will do H1B. Well, a lot of times they will offer H1B if they think that you're so good. J1, you do your 5 years, you go back to the Philippines, and if they really want you back, they'll have they will be confident of like we know how you teach, so you can come back as an H1B because we want you to stay. That happens more than not because they know you. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah, after you've invested your time
Mhm.
and established yourself there, then they're confident in giving you that
H1B.
opportunity. Yeah.
Yep. Good point there. So a good question there, Julia.
So meaning, Dr. Marina, for example, I would like to try for this school year.
Mhm.
I can apply, even I'm not in active teaching.
You have to be an active teacher.
That's
If
a
what you're
primary
doing is
requirement.
considered active teaching, like full-time, you have to be full-time teacher to
Mm.
qualify for this. If you're not, or you don't have a job, you cannot qualify for J1. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
then that's clear for me now. That's actually now that brings me to that question, because now, as I've said, I'm teaching, but it's in an academy.
Yeah.
So it's different. It should be like in a physical, I mean, like physical school, really, right?
Yeah.
Like the classroom setup.
Yep. Classroom setting. That's
Okay.
right. That's one of
So
the
I
interview questions. Yeah, for the visa sponsor. Yeah, they will ask
so
you.
it really requires Dr. Merlina like minimum 2 years. So meaning I have to go back for really teaching for 2 years.
Yeah, you have to show that you have at least 2 years. Yes, that you have 2 years, even if it's not recent, but it's like in the past you have done 2 years already. You know, it just need to show in your experience that you have that 2 years classroom experience. You know, plus currently teaching. That's a big one. Is currently teaching.
Okay.
Yeah.
As long as you're currently teaching and the past experiences, it's fine.
2 years. Yeah. Yep.
Thank you very much for that
I know.
enlightenment, Dr. Merlina
I
and
have
Miss
cases
Lisa.
that I remember that. Yeah. Yeah, good question there, Julius. I think that helps others too if they have the same question, because we have administrators that are applying, and so they were not really teachers, but they had experience as a teacher before they got hired as administrator, so they can check off that they have that much experience. So they were hired, So when they answer the question, they're gonna have to look at it on the teacher point of view, not on the principal's point of view. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So
Thank
same.
you, Doctor.
Yeah.
Thank you,
And
Miss
yes,
Lisa.
Doc Marlena.
Uh-huh.
Since I think I saw Sir Jamar. Sir Jamar is a school administrator.
Mhm.
Before we answer Ma'am Joanne's question, Sir Jamar can answer that,
Mhm.
especially those who are administrator who are attending our Zoom meeting
Mhm.
and they're asking if they can apply.
Yep, that's very good. J Mark, can you teach us? Miss Lisa, thank you again, and Julius, thank you for the question. So J Mark, we a lot of J and L. Go ahead. There you
Good
go.
morning, everyone. Good morning, Dr. Merlin and
Morning.
Sir Mike and Ma'am Joanne. Hi. We miss you. Regarding to that question, sir, ma'am. Because I'm a head teacher back in the Philippines, I still have teaching activities. I'm handling grade 6 science and grade 4 and 5 English. So I still have teaching loads back in the Philippines so that I would be qualified in applying for teacher position here in the US.
Because you had teaching loads, and I think that's what happened too with Alvin, is they had teaching loads for themselves. So it's not like they're 100% administrator. They were
Yes.
part
The in the morning, Doc, I'm teaching grades 4, 5, and 6, and then the afternoon I'll do the administrative tasks.
Yeah. So that might be something you can think about if you were given that opportunity, especially at this time where you want to come here. So yeah, right? Because where do they question that during visa interview, or during which interview would they get caught on that one if they are teachers or not? Is it during the designated visa sponsor question?
Like during the job
interview.
interview.
Job interview, yeah.
You're asking that one too, like what are the things that you're doing, how you start your classes, like that.
Yeah. But the number of experience will be asked. Oh, I'm a paperwork wise. You have to prove it. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, that one.
Yeah.
That is one factor also, man.
Yeah. So any now that you're in the US, both of you, what are some tips that you want to give them? Like not to do, or what to do or not to do?
Oh yeah. The thing is, when you are now here in the US and teaching face to face the students here, you do not need to be pressured. Like you just take your work easy, think for the things that
Positive.
would help you. Yeah. You need to think positive all the time, because every time that you go inside your classroom, it is really different. Every day is different. Like you always think for something that would help you, like your classroom management for the week. Yeah, your classroom management will be good. The other week, your classroom management will not be effective.
Yep. But
So
yeah.
you need to always have you always ready yourself. That's it. You always
Constantly
ready
adjust. Yeah.
yourself, adjust yourself until
Be teachable.
yeah, be
there you go.
teachable. That is the only thing that you need to have here. Like the locals here are very helpful.
Mhm.
Like they would help you in terms of handling misbehavior inside the classroom because they are already here.
Mhm.
So they know already the students.
They
They
give you
know
tips.
already.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
you both in Arkansas, right? You both in Arkansas.
In Missouri,
Sorry,
Doc.
you're in St. Louis? I don't remember.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, they're in one of the bigger schools in Missouri. So you got lots of snow, right?
Oh
Yes.
yeah, we've been experiencing snow for a week, Doc. Like we never been in the school for the week.
No school?
Yes,
They canceled the
they
classes for
canceled.
1 week.
Yeah.
Whoa, yeah.
So we will
I,
start by Monday. I
it's nice
hope.
break. It's nice break, but they have to pay that somewhere at the end.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yes, I think they'll be extending our classes until May.
Ian,
May.
last week of May.
Yeah,
Huh?
last week of May. And
Yeah.
hopefully June, but
Yeah, some
hopefully
people would do June. That's right. I was gonna say that a lot of people here in a lot of schools in Arkansas would go to June if we have snow like this. Yeah.
Ian.
yes, though.
Some
And
schools are go ahead. Some schools are smart enough to put in they would build in 5 days of snow days. So after the 5 days, then they start paying. Sometimes they have to pay with their spring break.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah.
that's what we heard here, Doc. Like we don't have a spring break for
Oh,
Yes.
you know
if
that
it's
in
a
bigger
long
in other
vacation.
bigger schools, they don't get away with that because a lot of families are booking cruises, are booking trips, and so on. So they will throw a fit. They will be mad because if they so that should be the last thing they should take away because that's 9 days off that they're taking.
Actually,
Yeah.
yes.
So yours are very understanding parents, I guess, if they can take that away from you guys. And you're a big school. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Doc. And also, Doc, I would like to inform you that I already have my wife and my daughter here in San
Yay! I'm
Luis.
so proud of
So
you.
they arrived last December 24.
Oh, you
Although
had a
they left
nice
the Philippines on December
Christmas.
24,
Oh my God.
but still Christmas, and they are here with me and
Oh.
with Jmar as well. And to all the teachers who are planning to apply in the US, you know what? This is actually the right time.
Yep.
Um,
Perfect, right?
but you really need to prepare.
Prepare yourself
Yeah, they're
financially.
saying that if you really are looking for something or you have goals, then you have to invest. Number one for yourself. Like, I can see that some are not turning on their cameras. Maybe they are not focusing. You know what? I'm honestly not good in English at first.
And he's
But
very fluent. He's an English
but since
speaker.
I started talking to Dr. Merlina,
Yeah,
to Ma'am Joanne,
during the mock
and Sir
interview.
Michael, like I realized that I'm speaking in English most of the time. And if you are still in the Philippines and you are having your classes and your medium of instruction is English, then you have to practice it. Because usually in the Philippines we laugh with the people who are speaking in English because we think that they are slang. But here in the US, they will laugh at you because they will think that the English that you're speaking is too hard. So you have to do some slang on it for them to be able to understand you. Because you know what, dear teachers, this is the reality. If the first word that you're going to tell during the interview is not understandable, you're not going to catch their attention. They will not listen to you. And always remember that the school administrators are looking for the best.
Yep.
So, you know, it's like in reality, you will be earning $300,000 or 300,000 pesos a month. $300,000 a month. That's too big. 300,000 pesos
300,000
a
pesos.
month.
That's awesome, right?
Yeah. So you need to give them the service amounting to that. Do not give them the 30,000 pesos a month
Yeah.
service.
It's 10
So
times. Yeah.
yes, Doc. So that's one of the tip. Now, like I can see, number one that I'm telling you is the lighting because they want to see your face. They want to see your dedication. They want to see your eyes if you are looking to them. So, if this is a virtual class, what are you going to do to check your students? Because most of the Filipino teachers, we are focusing on the concept and the philosophy that I'm a teacher, I'm teaching like this. So that's what we are telling, like your classroom management for this week is fitted to your student.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, it's
It would
not.
not be.
So you have to be teachable. So you just need to use those concepts and these philosophies as part of you.
Yeah.
But do not tell the
Pressure.
students that I'm a teacher like this, you have to
No.
follow me.
No,
Your
you
main
can,
goal is
yeah.
the heart to teach.
No that's called authoritative leadership style, like a
Yes,
Hitler. Don't do
because
that. Ever.
that's what I realized. Like, my classroom management or my teaching skill for a group of students doesn't fit with the other group. So I'm different with this group. I'm different with this group. But the main goal is for me to make the students learn.
Mhm.
So that's the main goal. That should be your focus. Like what they're telling, do not do the merit test because the locals, the American teachers doesn't care about what's happening with your personal life, with the life of your neighbors. They don't care about it. What they care is that the students. So that should be your top priority.
Right.
So
Yeah.
if you have the chance, like Dr. Merlina is asking you about this, then try to speak up, try to practice.
The
You really
practice.
need to number one, communicate very well.
Yeah.
That's the most important.
Yep, fluency is number one that they look for, and that's what number one I also look for. So I do
Yes.
not feel comfortable with recommending somebody that's not fluent. And this West Memphis 13, they're very fluent, all 13 of them. And so that I don't think twice about recommending them. That's why 10 of them was able to come here anyway, even after our roller coaster experiences. But yeah, because you're so fluent and you're so adjustable and you had growth mindset, very positive. You did not get mad or anything about anything that happened. And so so that's a really good attitude, and that's everything. In life, it's like things happen to you, but 90% of it is how you're going to take it as your attitude, right?
Yes,
So
Doc. And also regarding with the time zone, this is a great opportunity for you to be able to like wake up until 3 a.m. because in reality, the interview happens at 3
Yeah,
a.m.,
actually.
4 a.m.,
Um,
2 a.m. So when I attended Dr. Merlina, I keep on telling Jmar, like, my body is already in the US because of the time zones. So you need to be awake and alert
yeah.
yeah.
and enthusiastic. Yes.
Yeah. You got it. I
Thank you
swear.
very much.
You all do an awesome job every time you come on. So thank you so much. And they're like regulars on the Zoom. So I can really like if I don't have anybody else, I know they're gonna be there. So thank you so much for being foundation support and all that for everyone. So because the comments, feedback I get from emails is saying that we really like your Zoom because we love to hear about what the teachers are experiencing before we get there. That's very valuable to me. I mean, I don't think they care to really listen to me, but it's like what you are to share. If I have an input, I would share it, but a lot of times I would rather have you share your experiences and don't ever feel like I'm limiting you, because I want you to share as much as you can, because that's going to help everybody. Not just the people that are attending here, but also the people that are watching the video in YouTube and in Facebook, right? Because you're reaching thousands. So anyway, so yeah, you're like stars now. All right. Well, anyway, any last comments that you want to share?
Um, just stay positive. Like everything will fall through your dreams will be achieved.
Yeah,
Like
it's
if you have
doable.
patience and you think positively every time, yeah, I will get this.
Yep.
Then
Yep.
you
And do your prayers like, God, I'm doing my best. Please do the
yeah,
rest.
that's
You know?
it.
Yes.
That's
Very important, Doc.
that's a very important thing that you need to do.
And we've heard right now that some of the school districts are requiring video interviews. It's a one-way video interview, like you're going to record yourself and
Yes, and then answer some questions.
then answer some questions. Try doing it now.
Yeah,
Practice
prepare.
now. Well, actually, grammar is good, but they are not after with the
Yeah,
grammar. They are more of how you express yourself.
yourself.
So
And
that's
how
Examples, yeah.
you will be understood very well.
Yep.
yes,
It doesn't matter that you know the sentence structure just like that, but you
yes.
should
They will
communicate.
not judge you, right?
Yeah.
That's
They
it.
will not
Yes,
judge
because they're not a
Don't
book. I know, no, you're not a book.
Yeah,
joke.
yeah. No, but
It's
yeah,
my
very
joke.
good point, because and this Zoom meeting is actually the perfect example of it, because you're
Yes, Doc.
talking to me, at least somebody is giving you feedback. Well,
And
there
I
in the
learned
video,
from
nobody's
this.
giving you feedback, right? And so
Yeah,
if you don't feel comfortable about your video, send it to me and I will comment.
yeah.
I don't mind. I know we have some people that actually would call me like panicking. Oh, I have an interview tomorrow. Can you please practice with me? And I've done that. I practiced with them. I would ask them questions and I would comment, oh, you might want to add this part. You might want to cut this part out, or, add some examples here. I would say that. And I will be honest with you. I will not like praise you if you really do not deserve the praise. Just like we do
Yes,
in the
no.
classroom. You do not
Because
praise
we
students if
experience,
they don't deserve it, huh?
yeah, because we experience like they send an email that we have an interview for tomorrow. So we just only have 1 day preparation, not only for the interview, but also for the demo teaching.
Yes,
So
so
we need to prepare for a day for the demo teaching, all the materials that we need
yeah,
for the like a virtual demonstration.
for the teachers right now who are applying, number one, make sure that your resume is already fixed. So
Yeah.
have it checked with Dr. Merlina, your application letter. That's very important. Make sure that you are active in your email because sometimes they will email you that we're going to have an interview
Yeah.
after 4 hours. Are you
Yeah,
ready?
that's
So
it.
you need to
Yeah.
prepare your PowerPoint. You need to prepare your lesson plan.
Mhm.
And of course, the place where you're going to have the demo lesson.
Yeah.
And of
Not
course,
busy. Not busy, right? Not busy. Like
Yes.
look at their backgrounds. Perfect.
yeah, we know.
Yeah.
And the things that you need to like the things that you put in your PowerPoint, make sure that they are working because we had an incident that some of the things that we put in the PowerPoint that we had
Yeah, like
didn't
Not
work.
didn't
not
work.
compatible.
But I
Yeah.
needed to explain it, like because it didn't work, so I needed to explain it to the panels.
Hmm.
And make sure that the students you have your classroom management. Even this
Yes,
is a virtual demonstration. So what
show
I
to
can
them.
share with you is that when you get into the Zoom, you ask the panelists, okay, everyone, I would like you to follow the post that I'm going to do. Give me a 5.
That's
So
right.
that they will know that, oh, you're trying to engage us. Because, like, for example, you don't know their names, just give any name. Angelica,
Yeah,
I can see your
there are
5.
names, like there are
Yeah.
names
Yeah,
there.
there are
Good
names
job.
there. So
Yeah.
So
do
use
it.
them.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that I do during the interview, and they told me that they like it
Yeah.
because
They
if
like. Yeah.
there's a virtual interview, I gave them the assurance that the listener and the attendees are real people and not images.
Yeah.
That's right.
So you
Yeah.
have to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love your comment about fist to 5 is what I always call that. So fist to 5. So 0 if you don't get it, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is like you got it, really got it. And so yeah,
Yes,
fist to 5. That's a strategy. Fist to 5. So yeah,
yes, no.
That's
great
another.
strategy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So and make sure that you are knowledgeable with the content. Very important.
Ian.
Yeah. Some of them are so specific on the content that they will actually ask you question,
Yes.
specific to the content, especially if that's their expertise. Administrators have their own expertise. So if you're a science teacher and a science administrator that used to be a science teacher, they're going to ask you specific just to test if you know it, right?
Mhm.
So
Yes,
so yeah, good point. So yeah,
Yeah.
hi, enjoy your snow break.
Snow moments.
Take lots of pictures because that's gonna melt pretty soon. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, actually, Doc, we love the snow just for around 5 minutes. After that, we don't like the snow anymore.
You got me summarized. My husband was like, well, you used to go outside and do all this. And I'm like, when the kids were little, but now I'm like, okay, the kids are big now, I don't have to do that. But I do usually I do a reel, this is my outside, boom, done.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
it.
So anyway, well, thank you so much. I'm
Thank you so
always
much
grateful
also.
of your input because you are so smart. I'm like, I like pat myself silently because I'm like, how did I meet all these wonderful, wonderful teachers that are, here now? Yeah.
Yes,
I
Doc,
feel
I
blessed.
agree. I
Role
agree. I want to commend
or
them.
learning here now.
We are so proud of them, Sir
Yes.
Jamer and Sir Jeff. Before, when they started joining our Zoom meeting, I know those newcomers here, what they have on their mind now is the same as what they have before, and now
Yes.
they can talk now, they can share everything, and we're
Yes.
so proud of them.
I think John was always very confident, like a native speaker. I felt like I know he did think he was fluent, but he was very fluent, one of the most fluent speakers actually. That's why he's a star in the Philippines on the videos, for what was it, John, your projects?
I'm actually the host of the virtual virtual in-service training for teachers in the Philippines.
Yep,
So
that's why
I'm
he's so
a
good
teacher
at it.
broadcaster in the
Yeah,
Philippines.
but Jamar was a little shy, and I think you're still a little shy, but you were shy, right? When you talk to me, I'm like, yeah, this is a shy teacher, Yeah. But
But
sometimes,
a lot of Filipino teachers had a crush on him.
oh, so you're being popular. Do you know that some of them are actually marrying each other? They're marrying each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we advise Jmar to not marry a Filipino.
Why? Why?
For a green card. Joke.
Oh my God. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's
Potential.
by the way, that's fraudulent. That's fraud. You know, you could go to
Yeah,
jail.
yeah, yeah. We're
Don't-
actually just joking about it, Doc, but we know
Yeah,
that,
you
yeah,
know
with
that.
the
Yeah.
visa
Yeah.
that we have to go back in the Philippines and share what we learn.
Yep, for 2 years. That's right. And then you can come back after 5 years. But you know, don't ever do like marry somebody for a green card, because that's fraud and you will go to jail for that. So don't ever think of it that way unless you really love somebody. Don't marry them. Okay. Marry them if you love them. But anyway, but yeah, I've been married to my husband 38 years. So yeah, I love him. So
Yeah,
anyhow,
so
huh?
please start sending your resumes. And I think if we can also have a copy of the resume so we can send it to the school district here.
Yeah, these two are
PDF.
very active. They have a very big school. So can you like type
they
your
are using-
email on the chat? Type your email in the chat, because that
Yes,
way
Doc.
that they can send it
Most
to you.
especially for the science teachers,
teacher.
science, math, they need a
Yeah.
lot of science and math
Those are
teachers.
the shortage areas. Okay, high school math,
Sir
high
John?
school science.
Yes po.
Hi, Sir John. Pwede ba ako dyan? I'm an elementary math teacher. But high school, di ba?
General education.
Apo.
It should be general
Okay.
education.
Yeah, let's try po. Just give us a copy of the resumes.
I guess I can teach middle school, di ba? Middle school is grade 6, tama? 5 and 6 ba tama?
Different
They started
schools
at
have different middle school
Yeah, middle.
configuration.
Ah.
So in your foreign credentials evaluation that you are
the FCE. The FCE,
Yeah,
tama.
whatever the FCE says, that's what it is, because that's being translated to the US equivalent. Yeah, good
So John,
point.
I'm going to send EPM ko sa'yo, Sir John, yung resume ko. And
Yeah po,
cover
sure,
letter.
Apo. Or if
Thank you, Sir John.
possible,
I'm going to tell Ma'am Frana also. I think
Yeah.
Ma'am Frana is here.
Yeah,
And I
if you
think it's
if you can
better,
put it in the
Doc.
chat.
I think
Yeah.
it's better, yes. I think they can have their interaction or their communication in our FB group.
Yeah.
I'll share here the link of our FB group, the It's a Group.
Yep. You need to find
Yeah.
the ITSA group, ITSA, International Teacher Support in America, and also ITSA and my name, Dr. Merlina McCullough, in Facebook. I mean, in YouTube. Then you can see all the videos we've ever done on this. And try to subscribe, because I need to do 500 and I'm like 480 something.
Yes.
On YouTube.
If ever, will it be possible, Sir Mike, like we have a drive that the resume and the application letter are already there, and it has been checked by Dr. Merlina before we submit it to the school.
I have the file. I'll send you the file of my screened ones. I have a link already done. Yeah. And I already have the link of all the teachers by areas. So
Yes.
I'll just send it to you.
Thank you
So they
very
can
much,
just
Doc.
send it
So-
to me, and I can
Yeah.
polish it for them, and then I'll put it in the file and then send it to you. How's that?
All right, Doc. So we can just print it and
Yeah.
we can give it to the school district next week.
Yeah. Sounds good. I will send it to you. I have a few I need to add that sent me recently. I mean, yeah. So I will add them. And so if you send it to me like after this, then I'll just add yours to that, because I have like close to 400. So yeah. Yeah, we have a lot, and we need to help as many as we can. I have more than 200 I brought over now. So yeah. So that's cool. But anyway, all right. So so that's it. I think that I have to cover. I did the 5 core proposition. We did the comment from everyone, and unless anybody had a comment at the end, we need to show you on the video, because it's gonna, if you talk, you're gonna be shown here. You're gonna be recorded. So I'm gonna start calling Mike. Start calling everybody, Mike, so they can talk to say goodbye or
Yes,
what they
po.
learned.
And then,
This is your
yes po. And
exit.
then Miss Bailey say goodbye already.
Mhm.
Thank you, Miss Bailey, for your
Thank you.
time, for sharing
Yes.
your
Who's next?
Okay.
Actually, those who did not talk.
Ma'am Joanne, what is your question? Do you have still a question,
I
or before we?
I do have a question,
Go
but
ahead.
I'd like to say hello to Sir Jamar. I love the slang.
I know, right? Oh
A
my God,
big
they're
change,
becoming
yeah.
Americans now, right? So are you? So you're very
Okay,
fluent.
manifesting. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I do have a comment regarding that, because I am not in the Philippines right now. So if in case that I will be applying in America, do I have to go back home to the
Oh, that's
Philippines?
a question for Mike.
No,
Sir
no,
Mike?
you don't need, ma'am. You don't
I
need to
don't
go
need
back to
to.
the Philippines. You can go directly here, like what other teachers
Yes.
are doing.
Okay,
Yeah,
because we
like
do
me.
not
I
have
started in
we do
Qatar.
not have an embassy here. That's the thing.
Ah,
No
you don't
U.S.
have the
embassy.
embassy.
Yeah, there is no
You
Philippine
have to go to
embassy
somewhere
here.
where it's closest to you with an embassy.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
but the
one of the
closest is
options.
in Iran, and I don't want to go
Is that
there.
dangerous place to go?
I think so.
Maybe safer for you to go to the Philippines then,
Okay,
unless you have
then.
other
Okay.
safer options. Yeah. Right, Mike?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
po.
I think I'll just go back to Indonesia then.
Yeah, that
Okay.
might be
Thank you.
good
Thank
too.
you for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank
But
you.
I
Thank
think
you.
what is there
That's
is
it.
there any question though, Mike, on the with the from the consulate though about where they live? Are they gonna be asked that, Mike?
Uh, no po. But
No?
what I know there is that you need to have your interview in the Philippine embassy
Philippine
in the
embassy.
country where you
Okay.
are.
Okay.
Yes po.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for
Right.
that information.
Yeah, good question
Thank you.
there. Yeah.
That's it.
I hope
Thank
you
you.
do. I hope
Okay.
you do make it to the US, Joanne. I would like to meet you.
Soon, manifesting.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah, I
going
would
to
love to
be
meet you
there
in person.
soon.
I felt like
Okay.
I've
Yeah.
had you for a long time here, and I'd love to
Mhm.
meet you in person. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're in
Yeah.
Kazakhstan, ma'am,
I'm
right?
enjoying my stay here right now. I was able to
Yeah.
adjust well.
Yeah.
So now I've cut my
Kazakhstan, right?
hair.
Where are you at again? Tell me.
I'm in Uzbekistan right now.
Ah,
Uzbekistan. It's
Central
always
Asia.
hard
Uzbekistan.
to pronounce that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uzbekistan, which is close to
Uzbekistan.
which is like
So
in the Middle East
Kazakhstan, yeah.
of Asia.
Central Asia.
Central Asia, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
I'm
you.
showing my limited geography knowledge sometimes. I don't memorize all of it. I know the United States very well, but
Yeah,
yeah,
you are so fluent with that when it comes to United different cities. No, not
yeah.
cities.
Different
Different
countries,
states.
different, yeah. All right. Well, thank you again, Miss
Thank
Jen. You're
you.
awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah. Who
it's
else?
my New Year resolution to attend the
Good.
Zoom meeting now.
Good for you. Good for you. Yeah. You always
I was
add
able to
values
adjust
to it.
already, so it's
Yeah.
now time to give back.
Yeah, you
Thank
have
you.
great minds. So yeah, thank you for doing that. You can be part of that. The Memphis 13. They're always so good about here. So you'll be the 14th one there. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Who else? Who else, Mike, that need to be featured?
I
So
think
they will be.
I think Sir Edison Bagayan. Do you want to talk, sir?
Yeah.
He opened his camera now.
Yeah. Yeah, guys. If you attend, I would love for you to be in camera. That because I need to see you. I need to see that way I can see your nonverbal language, your actions and so on, and I could help you that way. But if you're only going to show your picture, that's not going to help you very much. Don't you think, Mike? They have to show their picture if they're going to want to come here.
Yes po, yes po.
I mean, not picture,
And
but
it will be easier for you po. It will be easier for you to recommend them.
yeah.
Because sometimes you are asking me, Mike, who do you think, or do we have any applicant science, social studies yeah, it will be very hard for us to recommend that we don't know.
Yeah. So that's why I want you recorded here. That way we can just rewind and look at the video. I'm like, yeah, that was on the 88th video, whatever. It was in video on January. I could go back. I could always go back and see, okay, what does this teacher look like? And all this bunch here, most of you that are here, a bunch of you that are here, you're pretty regular whenever you were still in the Philippines. And that really, hopefully had helped you a lot, because they've learned a lot. And they've shared a lot about their experiences with each other. So yeah. Okay, next.
Sir Edison?
Yeah, Sir Edison, what did you decide to do? You want to share about yourself?
I think Sir Edison doesn't have an audio.
We'll come back to him. Who's next? Is my cousin Fran not here today? I'm checking
I
attendance.
saw her. Yes, well.
She's not here today.
Okay.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Yes,
we can hear you
Edison.
now.
Yeah, you want to show
Yeah.
your face? That would be nice.
Yeah, hi, thank you. Also, my video is
Here you
not.
are. Okay.
Yeah, we can see you, sir.
Yep. Good
Okay,
job.
yeah.
I love the
Good
background too.
evening, everyone. This is the first time that I attended the meeting.
Okay. I hope you learned something already, right?
Yeah, somebody sent me the link, and since I have been entertaining the idea of applying to the US, so I clicked the link and here's the group. I don't know if this question of mine was covered a while ago because I came in late. do I need to be a graduate of my master's degree because I am not an education graduate in order to be qualified as an applicant for a teacher in the US? Like, for example, I am taking my master's in special education, but I will finish my 36 units by April. Would that make me qualified to
As
apply
long as you do
after
it
my...
within that school year. If you do it within that school year, it counts. You know, for example, if
Oh,
you're doing it this year, for this coming school year, 25, 26, as long as you do it by May of 2026, you should be okay. Then Mike can
okay.
answer that too because he was special ed and he got a job on that area later. Mike, do you mind sharing your experience on that, Mike?
Yes
Yeah.
po, Doc. When I applied here in the USA, I am teaching computer education and I was hired as a computer science teacher. And
Mhm.
then when I was here now, they found out that I'm finishing my master's degree in special education. So uh, within 2 months, they transferred me in special education. And here I am now. I'm teaching special education. I just recently finished my master's uh, of arts in special education last July 2024, and the state will help you to have the ALP if you are non major of that or not, you
That's
doesn't have
yeah,
the
that's called
specialization yet.
yeah, alternative
And yeah,
licensure plan is ALP.
yes,
Okay.
The
ALP.
alternative.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're
But
not teaching
is there a
the subject.
minimum units required to be qualified?
I think no, because that time when they transferred me in special education, I just have my, I think I'm not yet finished on that. I think it's 24 units. Yeah, I still have 24 units on that.
Right.
But it's not unit, but they will use hours here in
Hour,
the
they say
USA.
hours instead of instead
Hours.
of units.
Okay.
But you did have a license, teacher license, Mike. You did graduate as as a teacher, no? As an
Yes po. I
education,
am a
yeah,
graduate of it, yes.
yeah. But see, in your case, Edison, did you graduate in an education degree with education degree or not?
No, I took my units in education to be qualified for the licensure exam. I
Okay.
have my license as a teacher, and I have been teaching for 13 years
Oh, it
already.
sounds like you qualify, right, Mike?
Yes po. Because it will depends on the FCE. Once the FCE or the
FCE.
sponsor evaluated his documents or his educational documents.
Yeah, you go to spantran.com and it's about what about 10,000 to 15,000 pesos, and so that's a good investment because they will translate your transcript from the Philippines to the US equivalent. And how they did that when I came to the US at 19 years old, I had more than 100 credits units, and by the time they evaluated it, because they only give instead of 3 hours or three credits, they give me like 2 1/4. So it translated to like 88 credits instead of more than 100. And then it also would tell them like what the equivalent is for this particular course is the same as this course in America. And so like when they showed my English, I had 6 different English classes already. I was a pre-law. So pre-law student at San Jose USJR. And so they translated it to like, okay, this is your English here, but your English did not have research on it. And our description has the word research on it. And so I had to like ask, I said, this did include research. We did do a research, it's just not on their description. And so I had to like ask the university, like, hey, can you please give me a description that has the word research on it? Because that will save me a semester of going to an English class when I already had 18 credits, you know? And so anyway, so yeah, those are good questions. As long as you have your license and you're teaching now currently, and you have at least 2 years of experience, classroom experience, full time, then you should be okay. The only thing with a master's question is that there are some visa sponsors that are so strict on it, then they only would take somebody with master's degree, and that's more common actually. There are only a few that would not require you to have a master's degree. Why that is because they believe that if you have a master's degree, you have a better chance of getting approved because of your education. But if you don't have it, then they might not accept you, especially if they have a lot of applicants that have their masters and you don't. So you're not, so they're kind of biased to masters. some of the
Yes.
sponsors.
Yes po, Doc. And especially if you are applying, for example, you're not a graduate of special education and you only have the master's, but your bachelor's degree is not special education, they will look for your master's degree. Like an example po, yung my student who is currently in Texas, he is just graduate of bachelor's degree in special education, a major in special education, but he doesn't have any master's in special education. But since he has a bachelor's degree in special education, they hired him because he is a major of special education.
Yeah, and
So
also
they need
special
to,
education
yeah,
is rare
they
right
should
now.
not be confused about that.
Yeah, there's a shortage of special ed right now, so they are hiring people left and right with special education. So I'm so proud of those that are taking their masters in special ed, because that's your extra chance to come, because they are needing them all over the place. Right, Mike?
Yes po.
Yeah.
Yes po. And then they should not be worried about, no, we don't have any experience in teaching special education, or like, remember, we are teaching in inclusive education, wherein we have different diverse learners. So you can use that. You can
Yeah.
use that.
You already do. You already do it. When you differentiate in the
Yes.
classroom, you already addressing the needs of exceptional needs children, right? You already do, because you are
Yes po.
teaching the
Yes
kids
po.
that are behind, the one that are really way behind, and also the gifted. Here in the gifted, they call them GT, gifted and talented students. So yeah, your GT kids, you're teaching them too. Yeah.
Yes, we have the self-contained class wherein I am teaching. I'm a self-contained class wherein those students with severe difficulties or disabilities, they are just attending my class. Plus, you can be a resource teacher wherein you will go to, or you will go to the classroom to help the general classroom and teacher in teaching or assisting the students. Or you can be a pull-out teachers or resource teacher, and you will bring those kids in your classroom to teach them, and then send back them to their general classroom.
Regular class.
Yep. Very, very good point there. Another point that would also address your experience and credential has to have to match. So Jean Doe, I think, is asking this. So
Yes
your
po. Is it
experience and
possible,
credential.
she is asking, is it possible to get a job as a primary teacher, though I have a degree in secondary education since, yeah. Yeah.
Right, Mike?
So that is very important, yes po. That is very important that you can ask your question here and open your camera so that we can remember you.
Yeah. So Jean, is Jean still on? Jean, I answered
I'm
your
here,
question
ma'am.
on chat. Yeah, that your credential has to match your experience. So, for example, in Miss Marlon Incorporado's case, Marlon is still here, I hope. She has high school. She had a high school. What was it, Mike? She has a high school degree, but she's teaching elementary. And so that's
Yes,
going to be
Doc.
questioned by your visa sponsor. If you're in that case, the only one that would really count for you are the ones that would match. So if she is high school, the only thing that really counts towards what she's applying, if she's high school social studies, for example, would be her experience that would match that high school social studies. So if she taught math or other things that she don't have license for, that's not going to be, they call them alignment. So if there's that first thing that they will check is is it aligned or not, right? For visa sponsors, that's the first thing they check is your experience and your credential matching. And if they don't, they will really ask you, like, do you have your master's or do you have this? They would ask for more things because you don't have the alignment. So yeah. So good question there, Jean Doe. Is that Doe or Doss? Anyway, yeah. All
Hi,
right. So,
Doc.
Gina?
I have follow-up question.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I graduated BS Ed major in math, but my master's degree is not in line with my major since I was working as a principal during the studies in master's degree. So is it okay
Oh yeah,
for
it's okay. Your master's can be on any area. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And another is that when I prepare my resume, do I need to indicate also my current position since I am no longer in the classroom. But I have a 5 years experience of teaching in the classroom, full-time classroom teacher before.
Your resume is there to help you. So you make that decision. If this is not going to help me, I don't have to put it in. That's a decision you have to make because why muddle it when you want it clear. Okay, so it's your decision. Nobody can tell you that. You have to be the one to decide that. Okay, just remember experience and credentials have to match.
Yes. Remember Doc Elvin,
Mhm.
I think he included his in his resume that he is a principal, and then after you asked him to change it, he was hired.
Yeah, because if you put there your principal, you will be interviewed all day long or many times, but you won't get hired because they're going to hire principals that are locals here because they want to know you or that you have already been a principal in other schools. Okay, they're not. It's very hard to get in the principalship here because a lot of time you either have been connected or you already had been an assistant principal, for example, before they'd hire you. And a lot of times they grow their own. Grow their own means that they're already training somebody in their own school to replace somebody that's retiring. They already plan ahead at least 1 or 2 years. So they grow their own. So very good point there, Mike.
Got it.
Yes, ma'am.
I got it.
Yeah. So I hope you
So-
do get to come, Gina, because I think you're very fluent. You got it. You got knowledge. You got the experience. So you'll continue to attend here. So that way you'll continue to hear from the experiences of others.
My
Yeah.
prayers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. I think, did I see my cousin, Fran? I thought I
Yes,
saw
po.
her.
She's
Hi.
here. She's here.
Hi,
Yeah.
Fran. Hi, cousin. I have not forgotten you. Oh, by the way, Kendrick actually called me. I
Hi.
called him, and we were playing phone
Oh,
tag.
Happy New Year.
Kendrick.
Happy New Year, yeah. So anyway, see, I have I'm biased because she's my cousin, but because she's elementary, it's hard to place elementary teachers. If she was high school, she would have been here already. But it's just really hard to find elementary because you know what? The schools that are graduating a lot more, like 80% elementary, maybe 90. But so they can find local positions here. I mean, the locals here are applying, so that's why they don't need international teachers. But the high school is a different stories. It's a different story because the high school teachers have different options. Like, if you're a math person, they may go to medicine, they may go to, nursing field or health, they have other options. By elementary is kind of limited. You have K6 or K whatever, experience K4. So that's why it's very hard to place them. But I am working on it. So once I send my updated information to the different states, I will always know because I get lots of people saying, I haven't interviewed this, I haven't interviewed that. So that's how I know. Okay. So I will send it to the big states, the state around Arkansas, so you can visit us, and then to the different bigger areas, bigger cities in that state.
And
And do you
also,
have any
Doc, we
go
will
ahead.
do yes,
Mhm.
po, and we will do a thorough a complete research about the changes in the J1 qualification.
Yeah.
Because recently there's a changes in the J1 qualification. I think I don't know, I'm not sure if they will not hire or if they will still hire a general education teacher, meaning there should be an specialization or specific subject that
I
you're
remembered
teaching.
hearing that. And
Yeah.
how you can solve that is you have if you are, for example, you are generalized degree, general degree.
Yes.
So you need to go ahead and go to ets.org and take your praxis on the area that you're going to be confident in teaching. So for example, you are you have a general thing, but then math is really your favorite thing to teach. Go ahead and go to ets.org and then go to praxis, find a praxis for math and take it. You can take it from anywhere in the world. So that's a good investment for you because then you'll be then showing that you have your math, your credential in
Your
math.
praxis. Yeah.
Yeah, I would do the praxis before I would do the FCE because that way it will be included already, right? Because they
Yes
can.
po. And yes, and then I realize now po that taking TOEFL, I think it's better to take praxis than TOEFL.
Well,
Yeah.
that's true if you're not in Arkansas. In Arkansas,
Yes.
TOEFL is a big deal. So,
Yes.
but not very many states are doing that. So if they go to another state, that's true. But in Arkansas, TOEFL has to be. You have to get TOEFL done.
Because a TOEFL will be used in the reciprocity.
That's right. And see, not very
Yes.
many states are requiring TOEFL. So if you
TOEFL,
don't want to
yes.
mess with TOEFL, then don't go to Arkansas. Go to other states like Texas. Texas does not require TOEFL. See, the sad thing is that some of the teachers that are here already cannot pass TOEFL. Like they've taken it 5, 6, 7 times, and it's like 200 every time, $200. So it's not cheap. But they keep taking it, taking it, and they just cannot pass it. And they have a limited number of a year or two that they have to pass it. And so then they run out of time, and then the principal does not have any option but to get rid of them because they will be flagged. They'll have negative points for their school if you have teachers that are not licensed, because you're not going to get licensed if you don't have TOEFL. So what the teachers in Arkansas have done, Filipino teachers, they have gone to Texas or other states that do not require TOEFL. So yeah, Mike's statement would be true about praxis if you don't come to Arkansas. So if you go to other states,
Yes.
praxis definitely, okay, would get you there. So
And then they can also use, or they can get the other license like what other did. They get the Illinois teaching license, the New
New
Mexico teaching
Mexico.
license.
Yeah, the New Mexico and Illinois are the two states. I don't know if they have changed their requirements, and Maryland. Those are the three. So Maryland teaching license, or you just Google Maryland Department of Education and then go under licensure and look under reciprocity. And the reciprocity would be like the requirement on what you need in order to get their license. Okay, so far the simplest one are Maryland, again, New Mexico, and Illinois. And so
Illinois, yeah.
one of them kind of tightened it. So I don't remember, Mike, which one. But yeah, those are the ones, because I think one was $100 and one was like $10. So I don't remember which one was which, but that's when you have that license that you can show that you already are licensed in America because you already done the paperwork. That's gonna be an advantage for you. Okay, so your praxis and your license from America, because Philippines always have reciprocity on all the 50 states. It's just a matter of doing your paperwork in every state that you're going to be applying, that you're going to be having a job in. So, but every state has a different requirement. And Arkansas is one of the hardest because of TOEFL. So, so these Arkansas teachers, they're pretty smart. And Filipino teachers, they passed it. So yeah.
I think Sir Edison has a follow-up question. What is that, Sir Edison?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. My question arises from what Ma'am Gina shared a while ago,
Okay.
about making a decision on what are the things that you should put in your resume. Like, for example, I am applying as a special education teacher, but I am currently teaching as a social sciences teacher. So that would mean my current experience of teaching social sciences would not be relevant to what am I applying as a special education teacher.
I would still put it in, but because sometimes they would have, because that will give you more options. Like sometimes the school might have a vacancy in social studies and in special ed and other things. So the more things that you have options, then the more placement they could consider you for. So I would not like devalue it. Go to put it down there, but they're gonna highlight the ones that you're applying for. So they're gonna look for where you did special ed. For example, if you're applying on special ed, they're gonna highlight that part and see how many years you have on that one. But I will not like, unless it's administration, then that's different. But if it's a teaching experience, I will not get rid of it because that is your teaching experience, right? But focus on that. And when you write your cover letter, focus on your teaching experience. So chatgpt.com.
And also I suggest po during the interview, you need to specify, like what I mentioned po, is the diverse learners that you have in your classroom.
Yeah.
You need to focus there.
Yeah.
And how you handle that, because they will look on it.
Yeah.
How you handle students with learning disabilities or excuse me, learning
Yes.
difficulties.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those are key
because
terms, Mike.
sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, because Sir Mike, here in the Philippines, we only have few special education schools, and there are only few teachers who are getting the position because because I think the public school system here in the Philippines only caters to a very few number of students in special education.
Yeah.
So
In
not
yeah.
all of us are given the chance to teach in special
Yeah.
education, although we are qualified after our masters or our bachelors.
Oh yeah, good point there. But they have to so you have to consider that even though you're a classroom teacher, you already did
Yes.
address that. Like Mike said, you already addressed the exceptional needs of kids. Okay. And so mention diverse learning, and how I differentiate. I differentiate my, from the types of learners that you have, your kinesthetic, your auditory, and your, and your, what's the other one? And your VK.
Visual. Yeah, visual.
Visual
Yeah, auditory.
and visual. So you need to say that about your VK and auditory, and then you also need to say something about the different abilities in your classroom. You
Yes,
have your special ed, you have your gifted, and so on. So if you address that when you answer, that's good, right, Mike? Because then you will say,
yes
for
po,
my
yes po.
gifted kids, I do this. I challenge them by doing this because they are, they're always the ones that are finished first, and they're always ahead of their class. So I plan for activities for my gifted kids. When they finish early, I plan this for them to challenge them
Definitions.
further. Yeah, right? So,
Yes
for
po.
example, in
And
my
then
class,
because we have po dun in the Philippines, we have not the mentality, but uh when we say special education, we only focus on students with disabilities.
like the physical
Yeah, the
disability.
physical disabilities. But remember that in our classroom we have students with learning difficulties, like intellectual disabilities. Those are the students here in the USA. That's
Yeah.
why I mentioned we have the resource class, we have the inclusion teacher, we have the self-contained class. So they
Mike,
are
can you can
different.
you can you describe those three things, three situations, and so they'll know and they understand what those things mean in special ed?
Yes po. In special education, the special services that we have here, like in my situation, I am self-contained class, wherein my students stays in my class the whole day because they have the LRE, least restrictive environment. They cannot join the general education class because they need more specific instructions. Unlike the second one is the resource or the pullouts, the pullout students. I will pull out them, or I will take them in their class. For example, I will teach them in reading, language, and in math. But they will go back to their general ed classroom. So that is a resource class. Or like what my colleague there, she's entering the class of general education teacher, and she is assisting the general education teacher and sit beside those students that needs an assistant.
Mhm.
So those are the two types of special services here in the USA.
Yeah, because that goes also to the different things that the schools are adapting. Like, for example, the one where the special ed is supporting the teacher, the regular teacher, that's called co-teaching. So
Yes,
co-teaching
co-teaching.
is that they are both in there. They're both addressing the needs. And some co-teachers that work well together because they plan together, but some general ed teacher would treat the special ed teacher as if they're aides. You should not do that. But they should be, but they're both teachers. They're both have the same training and number of years to graduate and so on. But I do workshops about co-teaching, and that's one thing I would always say to principals, that they should never treat the special ed as if they're aides, as if they're paraprofessionals in your classroom, because they have the same degree. They have 4-year degree, and so planning together would benefit the kids. To plan what are you doing with the special with the regular ed kids, and this is what we're going to be doing for the special needs kids. This is so you plan together, so you get input, and that way it's like very seamless. It's not like there's no power struggle, like one is higher than the other. Do you see that, Mike? You know what I'm talking
Yes po.
about? Yes. And
Mhm.
that's gonna be basing on the personality of the regular ed teacher. Some of
Yes
them
po.
are
And then
controlling.
also during the collaboration, especially the IEP conferences,
Mhm.
they need there. So
Yeah.
if they will not cooperate with the special education teacher, it will be very hard for them to give inputs to the parents.
That's right. That's the
So that's
point.
the reason why we need to prevent the conflict between the general ed teacher and the special education teacher, because a special education teachers cannot work alone with that kid. And of course, we need to collaborate, coordinate with the general education teachers, because they are the one who is handling them in the classroom most of the time, and
Yeah.
then their inputs is very important.
Yeah, they hold that folder for that child, right? So yeah,
Yes.
so you how do you differentiate if you don't know the kids? If you're being
Yes.
treated like a paraprofessional or an aide. So,
Mhm.
and if I'm supporting your school, like for example, I'm supporting my school, there's 7 of them there, Filipino teachers. I always talk to principals and superintendents about that. That like you might want to improve the co-teaching because I noticed that this is what I observe. So I would put a comment. I always do debriefing with that administrators. I debrief with the teachers and I debrief with the administrators. And so that's where I would comment on things that, teachers will bring up. Sometimes I will never bring names up. I would just say, well, these are some observations that some of the teachers shared with me. I don't have to share their names to you, but these are some things that you might want to look at. So anyway, so yeah, that's a good thing to differentiate, Mike, on the roles, because
Mm.
that always
And also
confuses.
I have an aide in my classroom.
Yeah, they call them
Yes.
paraprofessional here
Yeah, the
instead of aide.
paraprofessional, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And one
Paras.
one of the good things here as a special education teacher is you don't have a lesson plan.
Mike loves that.
Yes, yes.
I
The general education teachers just sharing to me their lesson plans, and then I'm checking it. I'm checking
Yeah,
it for me to follow, because
yeah.
of course, you need to follow their IEP goals.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yes.
very one
Mm-hmm.
of my struggles now is how I'm going to align the IEP goals with the not current curriculum lessons that they have, because you remember, Doc, we have the iReady, we have the foundation of
So many.
reading.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
many. And they're playing
And then
catch up like juggling.
yes, yes. I think though I'm not sure on what I heard that science will become a core subject now. It will become three now. Ella, math, and science. Because science here, they just integrated it in English. But now I think they will
Has to
make
be
it as a core
separated.
subject.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's always had been separated in other schools anyway, because they have a test on it. They have an accountability test
Mm-hmm,
on it.
mm-hmm,
They have three subjects here in America that they are testing students. So it's either
mm-hmm.
English, math, or science.
And
But those
science.
three are hard to find. So if they put you there, the schools are trusting you that you're gonna improve the scores, right? Instead of like make it go down. So that's really an honor to be put in there in those areas, because that's where they judge the schools on how good you are, or districts, based on those
Mhm.
scores. Okay?
Yes, po.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Good point. All right. So what who else
Yes,
did we not?
somebody else.
I'm trying to read
Uh-huh.
names here. And I'm blind. I am blind. Anyway, so
Who else? Who else want to talk?
there's
Sir
Rochelle and
Leo,
there's
Sir Eden, Sir
Maria Lovely.
Rexon.
Maria Lovely needs to talk. Maria Lovely, can you talk with us?
Oh, good morning. I
Morning,
mean, good
hey.
evening to the Philippines and good morning here sa USA. Um, yes, Doc.
Yeah, share some things that you've learned, because you've been here, what, 4 months?
It's my third month, Doc.
Third month.
Third
Okay.
month. Last January 9, I think. Yeah, January 9.
Do you have any
It's
tips or warnings?
okay. Um, what tips that I would like to share to those aspirant teachers in the Philippines? Because this month is the month of administrations or administrators are looking for teachers in the Philippines to teach here in the US. So as for in our district, Doc, they are hiring certified teachers, but there's no specific specialization for that area. I mean, for that, uh, I mean, because I've checked our website or
You're in
website of
Texas. You're
our
in
district.
Texas, right?
No, No, Doc, I'm here in St. Louis,
St. Louis also.
Missouri.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes. So I don't know what specific area of specialization they are looking for, but they are in need of teachers, certified teachers.
Okay. So they
Yeah,
can
for
Google
this.
St. Louis. They can Google St. Louis School District,
No,
Missouri.
that's not
No.
St. Louis District, Doc. It's Normandy Schools Collaborative.
Okay. Normandy
Um,
Schools Collaborative. Okay.
yeah. So I
Okay.
think that's under Power School, or yeah, it's an applet track, Doc. It's an
Okay.
applet track. So they have to fill in the informations in that applet track under their district. So FCE is not yet required to put there, or and if teachers are already have their FCE or foreign credential evaluation, that will really help them. It's an edge for them.
I
So
think so. Yeah.
yeah, but what I can say for now, for those teachers who don't have yet their FCE, I think Doc Merlina already mentioned about it's about 10,000 in the Philippines, I think. So $190, I think, for this Pantran. We
Close
have
to 200. Yeah.
also, yeah, we have also WES, and then I don't know what else FCE is are there. So because I have my FCE in Spantran, so
That's more
that's a
common. Mhm.
yeah, that's more common. And because there are certain states here in the US that are requiring for a specific Spantran or a specific FCE. So if you wish to apply for, like, for example, here in Missouri, so Spantran, WES, are, they're accepting those FCE. But in California, I think Spantran is not, they are not accepting that, because I have this, co-teacher before last school year. They have their Spantran, FCE under Spantran was not accepted by the district that they're applying in California. So you might be asking about it. So there's group of teachers who are helping also in Facebook page that are already here in the US. So you can actually ask them, or maybe Doc Marlena will also, ask will also give help you about it. So
What's
we
the
will
name of the group?
just,
What's the name of the group, Maria Lovely?
it's foreign supporting teachers, something like that, Doc.
Okay,
I
foreign
think
supporting teachers. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of teachers there who are helping also,
Yeah.
who are doing the DIY or do-it-yourself application or direct hiring, something
Yeah,
like
I
that.
think you can
So
Google Filipino teachers
yeah, I think
class
that's in
US, or
Facebook.
yeah,
Yeah.
and US. Yeah. You'll
Yep.
find a bunch of groups, find
So
yeah, FB
yeah,
groups. Yeah. Maria Lovely, thank you so much for that. And
thank you so much,
yeah,
Doc.
if you don't mind to email me your website for your school, email me so that when I send them the link of this video, that I will include it. I will include
Okay, Doc.
school, okay? That way we'll get more
Okay.
people. Yeah. All right.
And
Well,
also,
thank you
Doc,
so much.
mostly
It's
what we, yes po, sorry to interrupt. And
no, go ahead.
mostly what we are doing here po, Doc, is DIY, right? You're just helping us to apply here, or to give us an idea on how to apply in the USA. And take note this, remember that Doc Merlina is not charging anything, any amount. Without that.
Volunteer.
Doc Merlin is not an agency.
I'm
Doc
not an
Merlin is
agency, no.
an agency, yes. And then you must be careful about the third party agency who are charging too much. So it's up
Five,
to
six
you. It's
thousand.
up to you if you want to get the to involve or to engage in any agency. But
Yeah.
we are here to help you how to do some DIY, to give you an idea how to start applying in the USA.
You do it
Again, Doc
yourself.
Merlin is not charging anything.
Yeah.
She's not charging anything. She's not an agency.
Yeah, I'm a retired teacher that just want to give back. I'm retired, and I feel like I know a lot because I was a teacher and administrator, and I got my education in the US. So I felt like, how can I help our Filipino teachers in the Philippines. So that solves both problems. That would help your families in the Philippines, but also helps the problem of teacher shortage here. So it's a mutual benefit. So why not, right? All right. So we have been here for like 3 hours. So it's going to be a very long video, but this has been so, to me, it's very meaty, lots of content because of the sharing of the teachers who are already here. So I want to thank all of you that had shared, and I thank those that also introduced themselves because you're going to be recorded. So you're going to show up here. So last comment then, especially from those that have not been recorded. Look like I've not seen what's that? Stephanie, May, and Jenny, Julianne. I've not seen you like big, like in the main screen. So you might have to talk in order for you to be in the main screen. And Rose Ann, Cherry Ann. Is that Melanie? I don't have my glasses here, so I'm like squinting over here. You can tell my age, but anyway, I'm nearly 60 now, so yeah. So I guess we'll have to say bye, Mike, if they're not
Yes,
saying
and
anything.
remember, our next Zoom meeting will be
Yeah.
next Saturday, not this Saturday.
It's not the
what is it?
18th, but the 25th.
I'll check
It's the
here.
25th, right? We
Yes,
we always skip one. We skip next Saturday, and so it's gonna be the next.
25th. Yeah,
So the
25th.
Yeah.
The 25th mo.
Yeah, the 25th.
Yeah, 25th.
Mm-hmm. So
Thank you so much po, Doc
yeah, my
Merlina.
husband's birthday is the 24th, so I think I'm gonna have lots of company that day. So we may have a short one. So we'll see. But anyway, all right. Well, thanks again,
Thank
and
you
I'm
very
just gonna
much,
have
Doctor.
to. Yeah, thank you so much, and I'm gonna have to
Thank you
say
very
bye.
much.
Thank you
Highly
so much for
appreciated.
Thank you,
for
Mr. Mer.
attending. So I hope to see you again next in 2
See you
weeks.
again. Yes. See
It's
you.
gonna be the
Thank
same link,
you.
the same time. Okay.
Thank
Yeah.
you
Thank
po.
you, Ma'am
All right. Bye
Inay.
bye.
Bye,
I
Dr.
see. Yeah.
Everybody.
Bye, Sir
Bye bye,
Mike.
Joanne.
Bye,
Yeah.
Ma'am
bye.
Joanne.
Thank
Bye bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye
Bye,
bye.
Mike and guys, the family.
Yeah. All right. There you are, Gina. I'll remember you, Gina.